Was that DJ Blizzak doing what it do? Riding Dolo solo right now. Phantom had a meeting last minute, so I'm gonna get through this thing. Riding Dolo solo was having a with you. Like to give a condolences to my cousins down there in Bastrop, Louisiana. Um, they had a passing yesterday, and I want to send a whole prayer out to the city of Bastrop. Um, There's a lot going on down there, man. Um, and then in Farmerville, things didn't look too good at the Ronald Green protest last weekend. So it's just crazy in Louisiana right now. So prayers to all the families there. I'm gonna see if I can get some of the Greens to come on here. The sister, at least if I can't get the mother to come down to get on the podcast. And what else we got going on in the news? We lost another legend. R.I.P. to Tina Turner. Um, I got to get into her music later after the Ike and thing. What's Love Got to Do with It? Private Dancer, different songs like that were my Tina Turner songs. But R.I.P. But she was battling. She had kidney issues, high blood pressure and kidney issues is was to contribute, with her health declining, and it came from the misuse of drugs and everything back in the day. They kind of just caught up with her. Um, Other news, Jamie Foxx. They say he's in rehab, but the only problem I got with the rehab thing with Jamie Foxx is still had nobody seen anything. He like disappeared and nobody has seen anything. So I got my own theories on it. There's so many conspiracy theories on the internet about what's going on with him, but we don't know. The daughter hadn't said anything else. They got people, Mike Tyson, who else they say? Kanye supposedly visited him and all that stuff, but no one actually seen a real picture of Jamie Foxx to know what's going on with Jamie Foxx. So at this time, I guess he's in our prayers. Uh, he'll be in our prayers until somebody hears something. But it's just weird that he disappeared over a month ago. Nobody's seen him. We get a tweet here and a tweet there, but no picture, no video. With this being a social media, photo, video age, and we have nothing of Jamie Foxx. As popular as he is, as well known as he is, no one's seen anything. And let's see what else is going on in the news besides they still hadn't found a jury selection for Young Thug, which is crazy. Um, so he probably gonna end up beating that case. I wouldn't be surprised. And a lot of people was anticipating the Lakers versus Celtics in the NBA final, in the championship game. That's not going to happen. Um, King James and the Lakers failed, got swept the other night. So that's out. So we're waiting to see. The Celtics, I thought, was about to get swept, but they came back. So this is going to be an interesting NBA final. I must say it's going to be an interesting one. And I'm by myself. And we look forward to seeing what's going on. It's crazy out there in the NBA world. It's so crazy. I'm really looking forward to football season. And what else we got going on? It was something else I wanted to touch up on in the news, but I can't remember what else was going on. But one more topic besides Soldier Boy and Lil Durk and was it Soldier Boy, Lil Durk, and NBA YoungBoy was supposed to be releasing their albums on the same day, and Soldier Boy tried to get into it with YoungBoy, and that's the wrong person to be trying to beef with. And then I think he's trying to calm it down now. So when they interviewed him, he was like he ain't got no beef with YoungBoy. I think he was trying to do it as a publicity stunt to promote the album. It's his new CD, his new project, and we haven't heard anything else from it. I'm like, bad publicity stunt. They're doing a lot of remakes. I just got notified about the Color Purple remake. They're already doing the Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley, Beverly Hills Cop remake, which that's going to be interesting to see. Because the movie were so good. All of the movies that he came out with, I think came out with 3. They were great, and that was over 20 years ago almost. So I just think some sequels are best left alone, but they're enhancing that franchise with a part 4, So and then Color Purple. How can you redo greatness? That's going to be another one that I'm kind of shaky on. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really watched the whole thing of Color Purple, the original yet, not the whole. Just sat there and watched the whole. No, I haven't done that yet. But um, you know, hopefully it'll be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to see on that. But a lot of remakes don't need to be remade, uh, especially when it's 20 years old. Sometimes you just need to leave it alone. Just like I wouldn't want to see a remake of New Jack City. A conclusion. I mean, it ended well. It had a perfect ending, so I wouldn't do that. But guess tonight our topic I'm gonna be about submission. I was hoping to hear from, and I may hear from them, a couple of independent, successful Black women that's working and that's been supporting themselves and their families, but yet they say they wouldn't mind having a husband. So when you get this husband and you being so independent and so used to doing everything your way, how hard would it be for you to submit to a man? And when I throw this question up and out there, I get a lot of mixed answers. I think people getting the whole definition of submission twisted. And then we know that you have to find a good leader, number one. I understand that. And from what a lot of you all have to choose from today, good leaders aren't plenty right now. We'll just say it like that. A lot of guys today, I hear and see a lot of women posting that they're looking for a mother replacement, someone to buy them Jordans, video games, and things like that. And so they like, we don't have nothing to submit to. So I see that a lot. But submission, I think a lot of the independent, especially the modern day women, getting that word uh, misconstrued. It's not, but I get different comments like they want to be equal, but yet protected at all costs. Okay, I get that. We're not saying you're not equal. Submission does not mean you're not equal to your mate. So that's number one. I want to make sure they know that that's not what submission is. It don't mean that you're not equal to your mate. And then, like she said, they want to come together. You know what I'm saying? They have to find someone to be submissive to. And then, according to this one, she ran into a controlling man. Now, being that she said that he's acting like her daddy, you know what I'm saying? So what it is on this one, is on that one, she got a person that's not a good leader. It's kind of like you at the job, and let's say you and 12 people came in on this job together, and one of them get promoted to be your team lead. But once that person is in that team lead position, they don't know how to handle the authority. Well, you need to be here on time, and talking to you in a snappy manner, and telling you things that you already know. But that's if you're dealing with a man that's controlling, that don't understand what submissive is, he is a controlling man, and he's not a good leader. So that comment, yeah, she ran into a controlling man. So, and then another one put on there that y'all be poor leaders and give women nothing to submit to. That's the majority of them. Yeah, you have to find men that's worthy of submission. But still, with you being independent and handling all your bills, um, taking care of your children, working, coming home every day, living by yourself for years, but yet you still say, well, one day I do want to get married. Even though we don't do the gender roles today, the modern day don't care for gender roles. How would you and your mate survive in a relationship without bumping heads? Like they say, too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the soup. You know, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. So in some point in that household, a household is ran better with somebody being in authority. When I say authority, I mean with uh, the know-how and the trustworthiness for you to trust that person to run the household, to run the finances, to head the household. And usually, that's the man. Um, the man purpose is to go out there and provide, to work, protect, provide. That's what they did back in the day. Now that women are working, a lot of women are head of household because they are single, they're raising their children. They don't need anybody for anything. If she's making 30,000 a year, she's making 40,000 a year. Shit, she's making 25,000 a year. She's knowing how to manage her finances, and today the women are doing it quite well. They're managing their finances. They really can say they don't need a man for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But there are a few out there that say, well, I do want to get married one day. I do plan on having a husband. So when she get this husband, how hard will it be for her to submit to this husband? You know, uh, and submission don't mean you have no voice. Submission, let me get the definition of submission. When a woman submits, this is what submit means. When she submits to a man, it means to be willing to allow him to lead when there's a disagreement, provided that his leadership is reasonable and just. So that goes back to what the lady said earlier. If she has nothing to submit to, and a lot of men are not worth submitting to today, I believe they are. It's just the ones that you're seeking, that you're around, that you see on a regular basis, that's in the clubs, that's in the streets, that you see every day. They tend not to be, you know, and a lot of the newer generation, being that they're raised by their parent, by their mother mostly, uh, they may be looking for a mother figure when they leave home. You know, if the father's not in the house saying, "Get up, you need to get out here and uh, make this money, you know, so we don't know what's in that child's that man's mind that came from that single household that may be looking for that mother figure. So that's why it's hard. All the women saying it's hard to find someone to submit to. And then they say, some of them say they don't have a problem with submission, but that man has to be able to provide, stand up, do what he need to do, be a man. And like she said, she wants to be equal at all costs. That was from Misha Hayes. And like I say, submission doesn't mean you're not equal. But even though a man is naturally born and built to be stronger than a woman, so when you look at that, you're not equal. But on the same note, I understand where she's coming from within the household. And like I say, that depends on the guy that you choose. It's kind of like I say, on the job, you and 12 others came in together, one get promoted, and the one who gets promoted treats y'all a certain way, knowing that you all came and complained about your supervisors and the team leads before she became one. And now she's one, she's acting worse than them because of her power of authority. And that's if you with a man like that, that's a controlling man. And that's between you and him. But that's not what submission is. Submission is like, let me give you an example of what submission is, my definition of what I think submission is. Um, Submission is, let's just say, like I was just talking to the wife about this. Let's just say if she got $2,000, all of a sudden, she got $2,000, and she comes to me and she say, "Hey, I got $2,000. What you think you want to do? What should we do with this $2,000?" Because she trusts me in the leadership role to make the best decision for the finances and what we have going on. So she trusts me in that, um, to make those decisions. So compared to non-submission is when they come in, she get $2,000, and let's just say she go and get uh, 3 tattoos, uh, 2 wigs made, um, order some clothes off Fashion Nova and all that. It did, don't come to me and say, "Hey, what do you think we need to do?" So submission means you come together, you come to the one who you feel like gonna do the finances. And with that, recently, she and I ran into where I wanted to do something. I was ready to go purchase some brand new uh, car, and she was like, "We really don't need that." He said, "We don't need that car right now." And so I sat there, and but she also say, "But if that's what you want to do, you can do, But if we get in a bind or something happen, you're the reason, it's your fault." And so I sit there and I think and I say, "Well, no, okay, well, jumping up right now, that's not a good point. Let's not do that." So you do have your opinion when you're submissive. It's just that you have one person that's kind of head of the household or head of the family that makes the final choice. And you have to find you someone who's you feel is worthy of making that choice. Um, Everybody's not a good leader. A lot of men, especially today, they're not good leaders. A lot of women are not good providers. A woman, every now and then, a lot of women gets in their selfish ways and it turns into me and mine a lot of times. Whereas that man, if the man is head, he thinks about the family. And like a lot of people say on Facebook, I've seen some comments where they say when a man uh, get rich or get a promotion, he's thinking about the family and what he can do to provide and make the family better. But when a woman gets a promotion or gets some extra money, she's thinking about what she did, what she hadn't had, and she's ready to go and get it. You know what I'm saying? For her. You know what I'm saying? So uh men are more real men are men, I'm gonna say, because there's a lot of definitions of what y'all consider a real man. Men that was raised to be a leader, raised to be a provider, raised to be a protector. Uh, they think different. And if they were raised by that father, that's why a lot of times if he had a relationship with the father or raised with the father in that household, those where most of your leaders come from. Because if they watch their father hold that house down, especially back in the day when the women weren't working, when the women didn't have the high paid jobs and the education, if you get with a man who came from a household where the father was the breadwinner, where the father ran that household, kept the lights on, kept food on the table, those are the men that usually becomes the better leaders. And that's what the women are seeking and what's missing in the world today. So hold on a moment. Okay. So with all of that being said, is this Mr. Melvin? What's happening with you?
Hey, what's going on, my brother? I'm
Melvin
trying to
TV, what
figure
it
out
is.
how to. Ain't nothing, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You sounding good.
Awesome. I'm trying to figure out how to get StreamYard to recognize my webcam, but it's not. Hmm. I'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
usually I see your face on here. But
Yeah. Hmm. I'll figure
but
it
I
out.
was breaking it down to him about the submission thing, that
Mm-hmm.
submission doesn't mean slavery. Uh, a lot of the modern day women think when they say submitting, oh, I got to be equal. It doesn't mean you're not equal. It just mean a lot of reasons why the women, why you work with that, I'll finish, but still work with what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot of reasons that women now are afraid of submitting. Not only that, a lot of men of today aren't good leaders. They don't have leadership skills. But the women started living with men when they were 20 years old, 18, 19, 20 years old. They'd moved in with a man. And they were
Mm-hmm.
doing wifely duties to their boyfriends. And while doing those wifely duties to the boyfriend, they was cooking, they were washing clothes, they were cleaning and working. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they was really submitting to him, letting him make all the decisions. He's spending all the money, whether he buying car stereos, back in the gap, rims on his car, lights all up in the car at the club, partying with his partners every week off the money she's making and that she's bringing home. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women got burnt out on that in their 20s. So now that they're in their 30s and 40s, they messed up about the whole situation. They could care less and they not submitting to a man. I'm making my own money. Uh, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? But yet they want that husband. And as a husband, it's his job to protect, provide, and lead. But when that woman, that masculinity, she's been doing it by herself for so long, not needing a man, not wanting a man. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
with that mentality, it's just hard for a woman to submit. So I understand where they're coming from. And plus with the choices that they have, you know, they say
Well,
you
the problem is this. It's not the fact that they moved in with a guy or they moved in together and they submitted to that dude. The problem is they submit to the wrong men. Then in the future, all the men have to pay. They don't submit to Pookie and Man Man. They knowing he's not gonna do right. But most women like a project. Oh, I could change him. I can make him a better man and all this nonsense. Knowing he's not gonna change. He's gonna be who he is. They submitting to the wrong dudes. And the thing about it is, when they get older, now they confused. They don't know who to pick. Because most of them never even were even taught by their dad on how to pick a good dude. Picking a good dude to them is a dude who spend money or a dude who financially set. Okay, that's the only part of the puzzle. That's not the entire thing. You know, you got to have a man that's going to be there through thick and thin. Let's say he lost his job. He ain't got no money now. Now what? You going to have to live off his little unemployment? Hell, that's if he can get it, depending on what state he's in. And that's the issue. They picking all the wrong guys. You know, they picking guys for whatever reason they want to pick them for, but they picking the wrong dudes. And the good guy that was supposed to be for them, they always put him where? They put him in the friend zone. There's so many good dudes in the damn friend zone. It makes no sense. You got a dude that'll bend over backwards for you and go to the moon and back for you, but they don't want him. They want the guy that they want to try to change. It makes no sense. Just like that story I heard. This is not my talking point. I heard a brother say this on TikTok. He said Lois Lane was in love with Superman. I don't know if you ever heard this before.
Yeah, break
Lois
it down.
Lane was in love with Superman, and she didn't like Clark Kent. And Clark Kent right there in her face the whole time. But she loved Superman because Superman, you know, Clark Kent was loving, he was caring, he was concerned. He always asked her how she was doing. You need anything? Nope, don't want him. She want the guy who was damn near unreachable. Because when he transformed to Superman, he had to take on the world. He ain't got time for you, lady. You know, I got other things to do. I got to save lives and stuff. Then when she finally got Superman, what she tried to do? Change him into Clark Kent. Yeah, Clark Kent there the whole damn time.
Yeah, she didn't want him going and
this is what we got today.
Yeah,
right.
I mean that
the
is
same
so
exact crap.
Yeah, that's deep and that's real because she didn't want him fighting the world. And she wanted him at home, but she had Clark Kent, same person. You know what I'm saying? But he wore the glasses and he looked like a nerd. Superman looked cool, had the muscles showing his muscles. Clark Kent wore long sleeve shirts.
Yes.
So
she
flip it
into 2023. Well, right. If you
flip
that into 2023, it's the same exact concept.
Like Tony Robinson.
I don't want him. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying like Tony Robinson just said, it could be what the government is doing too. It's helping divide us. Mm-hmm. Actually, today the men and women black men and women are actually in competition with each other because of social media, the government. But like he said, okay, and I said this too. Let's just say the guy living at home with his mom. Okay. Or let's just say he go to college and it ain't really working out. And there you go. I'm seeing you now. Let's just say he go to college. He's working out. College not working for him. That woman gonna have a home because the government is gonna give her somewhere to stay. The government is gonna give her vouchers to pay her utilities. The government is gonna give her food stamps to feed her and her family, her and the kids. So if the guy don't want to live with his mother or don't want to live with a friend or a family member where there's rules, he's gonna do what? Move in with his girlfriend. You see what I'm saying? So now there he goes living with her. You see what I'm saying? He's living with her and he's trying to poke his chest out to be a man. But at the end of the day, that's her house.
Yep.
At the end of the day, that's her house. And he really can't yell too loud in that house. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't own like Tony Robinson. Tony Robinson is hitting on the head tonight. The guy don't own nothing. So that's another reason why what she looked like being submissive to a man that's living on her. But he may be a good man. He may be a hard-working provider. But at the end of the day, like you said, she's not going to respect him like that because he living with her. And he probably making, I'm going to say 40,000, which is good, 40,000 a year, 50,000 a year. But he's living under her because she had the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I tell you, don't move in Try your best. I know if you're down and out, you don't have it. I get it. But if you can avoid it at all costs, don't move in with a woman. Just don't do it, man. Stay by yourself. That way you have your own stuff. Now
Yeah, I say,
if you guys are gonna
but
move in together, move into a neutral spot. Don't move to her spot. Don't move to his spot. Okay, move to a neutral spot. That way it can be our house instead of you. Because if you move to somebody's house, it's always gonna be their house because you moved to their spot or their apartment. My name on the lease, not yours. But if you guys like, okay, let's move in together. All right, let's go get a different
Tony
spot then.
Robinson, Tony Robinson owned it tonight. Because what
So
you
what's up,
said
Jig?
is absolutely right, but then he came back and said that ain't really her house. There's a
Facts.
government house.
Facts. What's
Which
up,
I
Jig?
never looked at it like that, but to be honest with you, it
Oh,
is
he's right.
because she don't own it. Her name is on the lease. I
No,
mean,
she don't own it.
she's on the rent.
But in her mind, she owns it.
She owns it because her name is on the paperwork.
Yeah. Technically, she don't own it. Hell, technically, none of us own this stuff unless you done bought the land to it. That's damn near impossible to do in the city. You really never even own the plot. You know? You go to the country now, that's you.
I mean, I'm up in here trying to lounge and Tony Robinson making me wake up tonight. I'm like, I'm in chill mode.
Oh man, please, Jig be on it, man. That's
Tina
the homie.
Turner done left us, and he like, I gotta wake up. So let me get myself together.
Yeah, that's the Carroll High School homie right there.
Austin. But yeah, what's happening with you? The women are not submitting because according to Jerica here, the women are more masculine than the men.
Yeah, which is unacceptable. They're not gonna get nowhere being more manly than the dude. That makes no sense. We're the only culture that does this. They have the women more masculine than the guys.
But a lot of guys, they say a lot of guys are looking for mothers though. They are getting with these women, moving in with them, looking for the woman to take care of them.
Okay, but who raised those boys and to come to men though? Women. Wasn't the dads. So therefore, they're gonna keep looking for mother figures because that's all they know. They don't know nothing else. This is why it's so easy for some guys to move in on a woman because they're used to living with women.
It depends. Their father could have been the same way, and some people just take a turn for. You can raise your kid, and then they still come out different. So their friends start to influence them. They start to see what other people are doing instead of being a leader. They become a follower and just do what everyone else is doing. And then we look at the kids these days. They always try to take the easier way out. I know someone that just got out of college and they feel like they should be making $75,000, $80,000 a year right off the rip, rather than trying to get in and work for it. You know, so and but he wasn't raised like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the time that these young kids are in and
Yeah,
their mentality.
because majority of them are raised by the mothers with very little involvement with the father, and they take on a lot of the women ways. And a woman want things done quick. A
Well, I
man
mean,
understand
no,
that.
no, no. This guy, I mean, the people that I'm referring to, they were raised in a two-parent household.
Whoa, no.
Yeah. So
Either he didn't like his
That's
dad or
right,
something.
exactly. Something
Yeah,
happened with that.
somebody,
He
some
probably
fumbled the
rebelled
ball.
against it or something. Most guys who come
so
from a two-parent household,
Oh,
they're
no, no,
usually
no. He
pretty
said
good.
though, maybe the dad was like that. Maybe the dad was
Dad was
living
a
off
simp.
of the mom.
Dad was a simp.
Yeah, and that's what he's seen.
so
Could be. Yeah, a lot of simp dads, but the area I grew up in, I think you're Gen X like me. We didn't have simp dads back then.
No,
Not
I
back
mean,
then. All them men
back
stood
in
on
the 80s,
Gen X.
it was
Yeah,
real
Gen X.
men
Yeah.
raising the household. And they taught us to get off our ass and get out there and get it. On Saturdays, we wanted to sit on our ass and wait on
Cartoons.
cartoons. But if that grass needed to be mowed, cartoons had to wait. We can get up early and catch the first, to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But after 10, you was out there in that yard until you learned what heat was, and then you start getting your ass up at 7 o'clock.
But
Sling
Getting
blade,
that bread.
sling
my
blade Louise
thing
down.
my thing is, when are we gonna start putting the onus on the males themselves?
I
Because
mean,
I mean,
No,
it doesn't matter what you grew up seeing. It's what you end up becoming on your own.
no, I don't
I
believe that
understand that.
because
No, no,
men are held accountable every single day. So can't really say when men gonna start taking ownership. Society makes men, especially black men, be accountable. We have
no.
no
I
choice.
mean, but you say that, but you still have guys that do not take accountability for their actions of moving in with a woman, living off a woman, depending on a woman. They rather sit at home and allow a woman to go out and work, and they sit at home and play PlayStation and watch podcasts.
But
Them
So
dudes ain't
that's the
from them
trend
dudes not
though.
from Gen X.
That's what's
Right.
going on now with the trend. And I say it's
Mhm.
lack of real men being in those guys' lives.
Exactly. That's all it is.
okay, so again, if you have a grown adult that
Mhm.
prefers to sit at home while his woman goes out to work and he chooses to move in with her and live off of her rather than getting something on his own, that's him.
What's their
He's at
arrangement?
fault.
What is
No,
their arrangement?
it doesn't matter what their arrangement is, because if he's a man with standards and character of being a man, then he's going to want to get out and do it on his own. He's not
I
going
get
to
it.
allow he's not going to allow that woman to take care of him.
Now
I
this
get
is
it, but a
this.
lot of guys today
This
are taking on the Mr. Mom role. There's been a role reversal. Like I said, they got kids. Let's say if the guy chose to stay home to watch kids or raise the kids that way and while she worked. It's a role reversal. It's the same stuff we
well,
talked about
that's
on
if you
sociology.
marry. That's if you marry.
Yeah.
That's if you marry.
And
Or in a long term committed relationship, hell, y'all got kids. You got to sit there and try to
well,
save money
Yeah, you
some
got
kind of
kids,
way.
but
You rather give somebody $1,500 a month to a damn daycare or have
well,
somebody stay
I'm
home to
not.
watch
I
the
mean,
kids.
Well, that's
even
that's
even
still them taking on
Austin,
responsibility.
even
The,
Austin, you were saying on a previous podcast that the way the households are ran today is different than what we grew up in. That men can stay at home if the woman can work. Because I don't want mine going to daycare, but I'm
right.
just fortunate enough where she's able to be at the house, and then now they got home jobs, but I don't want mine at daycare, and
Right. And,
so
and I can
I
understand that.
understand if that man has to stay at home. Let's just say she able to get a job paying 50, 60,000 a year, and it contributes to the household a whole bunch. Um, and he able to stay at home or do a at home job, maybe paying 40,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So men don't necessarily
That's
have to
that's
be
that's
out there.
totally that's totally different. We're
Okay,
talking about something totally different. We're talking about the
about the
guys
lazy dude.
that the dudes that don't want to work and choose to stay at home, not because there's an arrangement or because it's more beneficial for that female to go work because she has whatever the education, she
Hmm.
makes the money. She's able to make the
Yeah.
money. And if he can stay at home and work from home, that's fine. But we're talking about the ones that don't want to work, that don't want to do
So you talking
anything.
about the Pookies and the Man Mans. That's what you talking about.
Yeah, whoever they may be,
Pookie and
that
Man Man.
want that want to sit at home and just do nothing, still sling a couple
Okay. Let me
baggies
ask
every
you
now
this
and
though:
then.
if that's what he want to do, since you want the men to be held accountable,
Mhm.
she is the one who's allowing that, right?
Well, this is true.
Okay. So if she's digmatized, because I keep it real, a lot of times women get digmatized,
Well,
and when they get digmatized, that man can. I've seen them drop them women off at Chase, at JP Morgan Chase. I've seen them drop women off at CenturyLink, and they go and play them video games and be 15, sometimes 20 and 30 minutes late picking that woman up.
Picking her up.
But when she get in that car, she kisses him, and
It's
they
like
drive off.
Baby Boy.
She
well, I
loves,
It's like
yeah,
mean,
Baby
again,
Boy and,
that's
and old girl.
yeah. So that's a woman with low standards. She has low standards, or she wants to control that relationship, one of the two. So if that's what she chooses to do to get a man like that, I'm talking about a woman with standards that wants a what most people would characterize as a man that gets out and work, that's ambitious and want to do things in life to assist and contribute to the household. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Those
And
type of
like
women.
Jerica's saying on here, she's saying that it's up to him to want to be a man. You know what I'm saying? He has to actually want to be that and can't depend on a woman to
A man
make
don't know
him
how to be a man. They never been
be a
taught.
man.
They never been taught how to be a man. So how the hell you gonna
But
be a man? You
on
never
the
been
on the
taught.
on the same
Makes
note
no sense.
with the submission thing though,
Never
I
been taught how
feel,
to be a
and it's
man. How
just
you supposed
me,
to just hop up and become a man? You're not gonna do that.
they're not gonna think that it's hard. It's hard. He like Austin said, he has to want to do that. But when there's not enough men wanting to do that, what do you expect the women to do? What do you expect? And that's why we have a lot of masculine women out here because they're having to take on being a mother to their child, working, and then being a father to that child, as well as bringing home the bacon, so to speak, the money maker in the
I
in the
got.
in the
I
in the
have a
household.
fair.
So
I have a fair question.
we're putting a lot on the black
I have a
woman,
question.
and then we wonder why she's bitter. We wonder why she's saying, I don't need a man for nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand where they're coming from, even though it irks me to hear a woman say, I don't need a man. But with what they're dealing with today, I understand where they're coming from because they're handling everything. But like Tony Robinson said, the government puts that woman in that position to get that house, to get that apartment. She has 2 or 3 kids. The more kids you have, the quicker they get you in there. Okay, so she's running a household with 2 kids by herself. And let's just say she's working 2 jobs. Because some women, when they have those kids, they dedicate their lives to those children. Okay. So now she got 2 jobs. She worked at CenturyLink and then she do a
Hair on the
gas
side.
station part-time. Okay. So now she's working 2 jobs, kids at daycare. Then she meets somebody through one of the jobs, and then she allows this guy to come around her kids and all that, and then he turns that into this is a crib to lounge in. But she's already working and providing, so she don't see it like that right off until her bills start going up, the water bill go up, the electric start going up. Then she starts saying, "Hey," because when a single mother, know where every dime is going. A real single mother woman, she knows where all her pennies are going. So when those bills start rising, that's when she gonna pull into the side and say, "Hey, my bills going up. You not providing." And they still won't provide. They rather leave.
Well,
I've seen cases where that guy would say, okay, and break
well,
up with her, move back home with his mama or
yeah,
with his aunt.
they she should have discovered that prior to her moving in. But Richard, you said you had a question. Can you hear us,
Yeah, I
Richard?
have a fair question. I lived in Seattle, Washington, 21 years, and I've dated. I've told Black this before. I've dated outside my race several times, and I've been with women of other nations who were single parents. Why didn't they act masculine? Why does our women have to get masculine? I've dated
Well,
Asians, Filipinos, whites, women from Europe, Africa. They were single mothers with multiple children, but they didn't turn masculine. They were still feminine. So
well,
my question is, why do our women have to turn masculine when all the other women of the nations can remain feminine
because you
with the
have to
same
look at
amount of
the
children with no dad
yeah,
around?
but you have to look at the plight of the black woman though, and the pressures that she has to face on a day-to-day basis. Not only from the
She
her
makes the most money.
from
She has the most education. She is the most
it
successful,
doesn't and she's going to be the most
right?
scrutinized. She's going to be the most scrutinized. She's going to be the one that's passed over for promotions. She's going to be the one that has to carry all those pressures of trying to keep the job, the house, and everything else. So, and then still get beat down by bitter black men saying that she's too masculine or she's too educated or she's too this or too that.
Where,
So
where
she
are these
has to
black
fight
men
all of
that? Where
these
are these
these
black
issues.
men that are actually beating down women? There's no black
If
men beating down women,
if
sisters.
you
That's just not possible.
if you so on this that lit group that we're on, the Kevin Samuels thing, you see it all the time on there.
Hmm.
and how bitter they are against black women, and it's
I'm
absurd.
thinking, are they bitter against black women, or are they bitter with the behavior of the modern day black woman? Because
It
I'm not
doesn't.
bitter with black
They
women. It's the behavior.
Well,
You got to be like
either.
Richard put. You need to watch some of Richard, Mr. Melvin TV. He put on there that the women are like they worshiping the devil. Okay, they want to date the devil. The man got to be 6 feet tall. He got to make six figures. His penis got to be 6 inches or better. So it's like the new modern day woman, all this extra malarkey that they're uh putting out there from what they're seeing on social media, from what they're seeing in the Tyler Perry movies and the 50 Cent movies. Uh this newer generation is ran by the media, period. So it's like that man making 40 grand or that man making $1,000 a week, a woman that's making less than that, 25,000 a year, will make him feel like he ain't doing shit and he ain't shit. And that's what they do today because they
Exactly.
caught up in that social media
Exactly.
world. You
well, I
know,
mean, you have if you would have to see what portion of women that is, because I think that's a very small portion. Those are women that normally don't even have the standards that they're trying to put out for other men.
and Shajerica is
Facts.
right. All women are not like that, Shajerica. But I'm talking about the ones that I see on social media that's saying that are the ones that you know that you went to school with. And I'm talking, I know Shajerica. The ones you went to school with that's out here going to these clubs, stripping and doing whatever they doing around these guys that's flashing this little money, these little drug dealers that's hustling, selling dope for somebody else, but they're able to show $3,000 in hundreds today that they because they hadn't paid the dope the plug. Um, that's walking around here saying that a man that's making 40, 50, and 60, that $40,000 a year, $45,000 a year is not worth her time. And
Well, so,
Shaderica know who
Exactly. You
the
gotta make a
ones I'm
hundred.
talking about.
well,
And
see
they are
again.
out there.
You gotta make
So,
a
They out there.
so again, we're talking about a small percentage of women that don't even have the standards that they're trying to impose on men. And look at if you look at statistics, so 100%, I mean 17% of uh, of Americans make $100,000 or more.
Right.
65% of American males that make in the range of 75, right? So
I
what
don't
is
even
you?
think it's that, Lord.
Well, I mean that's what they were
Because that's
showing, but um, so if everybody's trying to get these $100,000 plus people, then you're cutting out the largest pool that there is. You're cutting yourself out.
But they don't want those guys. They want all the guys who make 100,000 or more. Like Black just said, if you make $40,000 to $60,000, it's considered a damn insult. Like, oh, you broke, you ain't got no money.
yeah,
60 G's can go a long way if you know how to spend it.
Yeah,
You know,
it can.
if
It
you can
can.
have some discipline and not go in there and try to buy everything up and keep up with the Joneses, sixty
Right.
thousand dollars a year is a pretty decent salary, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, $60,000,
They don't want the guys who make
75,000,
60 G's. That's
80,000,
not
90. I mean, what
enough
could you
money.
do? How much more can you do with $100,000 than you can do with 75,000? It's only a $25,000 a year difference.
yeah. But social media
They just gonna take
and
more. Fighting
television,
just gonna take more money out your damn check.
social
Right.
media and television makes it looks like that's no money. 40, 40, 50, 50,000 is no money when you got more people making 25 to 30,000 is the majority of the money that people are making. When you get into 40,000, 45,000, that's when it starts slimming. You have, according to statistics, you have 58. 48% people making 35 to 39,000. And then the numbers get lower after that. 40,000 to 44,000 is 53.74%. 45,000 to 49,000 is 49,000. 49%. And then when you get to 50,000 to 54,000, it drops. It's 45%. So it's like for them to be watching that social media and passing up all these eligible single black men because of what social media is putting out there, these women who has nothing, and the fact to be women that don't have much of anything to offer besides herself and sex, because the money that
Especially,
she's making, she's gonna make sure she's provided for. She's gonna make sure her child provided for. So when you get with her, then what?
we all know the cliche. Her money is her money, and your money is her money. So that, you already know that's how it goes if you give it somebody like that.
I don't know about that. That ain't how that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that
That's how
either.
it
It
goes
don't
in
roll.
all
It
giving
women
don't
it.
roll
ain't
like that over here.
all women not like that. So yeah, because I know
I know.
mine's
It can't.
not. But
Yeah, mine neither, because it's like shit.
We know it's not. We know it's not all. You know,
Yeah,
we get
yeah,
that. We just,
because of how we,
talking about.
but the newer generation, those guys are accepting that. They
Right.
accepting that narrative. They accept that. So
Put
that's
their foot
why.
down.
and
And the thing
just
about
to
it, black. Oh, sorry, Austin.
no,
The thing
I was just
about it
saying
though, here, black me and you here in Atlanta. You know how superficial Atlanta is.
Oh yeah,
The first thing women do out here is what? They'll look you up and down, look at the kind of shoes you got on, trying to see if you got some money. And if they mess around and see your whip, oh girl, he broke, he ain't got no money. If they see
yeah,
your whip and it's nice, they finna be up over there trying to say something.
yeah.
Atlanta, Vegas, Miami, and Los Angeles, very superficial cities. It's all about what you got or what you look like.
It's like that in Dallas too. That's where Austin is, and he told me that
I
the
didn't get that
car
when I was
makes
in
the
Dallas.
man out there. You have to have a nice car. The nicer the car is, the nicer the woman you get.
I don't know, Dallas.
But
I
what
had a
that woman
bucket and I
not
still was pulling them.
realizing is that car is his and not hers.
well, so
Exactly.
I mean that's you're talking about women that are materialistic and not really looking for a true relationship.
Just want
They
the
they
bread. That's
go
it.
they yeah they go with whatever dollar sign is out there, whichever the higher dollar sign is.
The highest
So
bidder.
they're not looking for a real relationship. They're looking for money, status, and clout. So and then if you decline from
Looking
anywhere
for today. They're
above
not
that,
thinking about tomorrow.
right? So then they're gonna go to the next one.
Monkey branch right on to the next guy. Whoever got the most bread, just like you just said.
Yeah. So and again, that I don't know what that percentage is, but I mean, you have them out there, you see them all the time,
Which
and
one?
I'm just saying,
Oh,
though that type of woman, what the
Oh yeah.
percentage of that women, but and you have them in all age ranges,
oh,
including the older chicks. So, and they still wonder. I mean, they out there, they 50 years old, with their contacts in and with their fitted body, still out there trying to grab money, and
BBL.
yeah, and so, you know,
But you have, but they have those 30-year-old guys that's trying to mess with those 40 and 50-year-old women. You have those 25-year-olds that's putting that notch up under their belt that they slept with that 40 or 55 woman that's in them contacts and showing her body.
yeah,
So
but that's all she wants though. That's all she wants. That's all she wants is that attention from whatever dude, whether he's younger or older. And for whatever reason, they're missing something or have missed something in their life that they're still trying to capture or gain or regain.
so submission is nowhere in there everyday. That's nothing that they're seeking.
If you
They just
paying
out there to get the
if you
money
paying
and get
for it,
the sex and keep it moving.
if you paying
He's out
for it,
here
they'll
for the
act how you want
bag,
them to act.
dude. They'll tell you themselves if he ain't got the bag, he ain't the one.
Like I say,
You gotta
the
have a
things
bag, man.
y'all
These
say,
days, if you ain't got no
the
bag, you ain't
things
doing
I
something.
hear you
Especially if
say
you ain't already got a woman just
and
already
Jay say,
established with you.
Mr. Melvin, I never heard that. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
being in an area, I I never heard that lie.
Mhm.
I see it on television. Women telling guys that if you ain't got no money, you can't get with me. I,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, they had that song. I forgot who the singer was, but ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a job if you want to be with. Now, I agree with that because don't nobody, no female should be taking care of a man. So when she said you got to have a job if you want to be with me,
What's
I
how about
understand that,
Gloria
and I
Gaynor?
preach
She got
that
a
to
name.
the daughters all day. You get what I'm saying? Ain't nothing going on but the rent. She needs her somebody who can help her out. Do not take care of damn nigga. You get what I'm saying? So I understand that song. But for y'all to say no romance without finance, I kind of understand that too. But for a woman to tell a man that if you can't pay my bills, you ain't got no money, we can't lay down. Like I said, that's prostitution, and I never heard a woman say nothing like that.
Well,
Um, and I guess it's the type of woman you approach, the type of woman you go to, or the type of woman you be around. Because I never ever heard that. I'm sure Austin hadn't heard that either. We don't hear stuff like that.
I've never experienced stuff like that, but I've heard stuff like that. So, but again, it depends on the environment. It depends on what you're looking for and what's looking for you, if you feel me. So,
And Mr. Melvin said on his page one day that he met a female, and before he can get to know her good, she asking him for money. And it's like, I guess
Yeah.
I guess
Mhm.
I have a filter.
One day.
Yeah, one day. Now
One
he
day.
met her in one day. By the time they got through chilling that day, that evening, she was asking him for to help her on a bill. And I guess
Mhm.
I don't. I have a filter where I don't affiliate. I never affiliated with women like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I can kind of tell who is about something and who not. I guess within the first 5 or 10 minutes, especially 15 minutes of the conversation, and I know how to ease out that damn conversation and go my way. But she added insult to injury when she asked you that. And like I say, you in the A, and
Yeah.
it's more, I mean, to be honest with you, here, you being a straight man from
Mhm.
Louisiana, per se, Seattle,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
you have a better chance of picking who you want than the average guy in Atlanta. Because they know that a lot of them already affiliate the average guy in Atlanta to being with a tranny, or he both ways. So when you
Mhm.
approach them and you say, "Hey, I'm not from here. I'm from Louisiana. Or I'm from Seattle. Or I'm from
Mhm.
Dallas," they see you different, and they flock to you in a different manner. There are so many YouTube and TikTok videos where the women are talking about how the guys are gay down here and undercover in both ways. And if they want a straight man, so that's why when we were on the phone the other day, I told you don't settle because you don't have to.
Oh,
You
never.
can
No, hell
find
no.
the whatever you want because of who you are and where you came from. The
Exactly.
guys here that's already here, majority of them are saturated. They already saturated. So when you get here, the real man can have the pick of the litter. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You just gotta get away from the attitudes and women saying you gotta pay me to be with me. That shit crazy. I'm
Shit, man.
saying
Broke ass. 'Cause I'm not
that's
paying
crazy.
nothing.
And then
Like
you,
that
like I
lady
say,
asked
you
me for
wonder
my.
why they don't submit. They're not submitting because it's not a lot out here for them to choose from. It's really not. It's not. And I want to
I
fuss.
can dig it.
I want to say they just not that they going after the pretty boy, are they going after the popular boy, are they going after the one who got
The
six or
bad boy.
seven kids, the
Yeah.
Pookies
They
and
want.
Ray
They want
Rays?
him.
I
Hmm.
want to say that, but the women really don't have much to choose from out here today. They really don't.
Like, like I said earlier, they put the man that will bend over backwards for them. They always put him in the friend zone. He always goes straight to the friend zone. They don't want him. Not like that.
But why
They
do he
don't
go
want
to
him.
the
They'll
friend
be
zone?
friends with him for years, 10,
Why
20
do you think
years.
he goes to the friend zone? Because that's your third time saying it.
Because
Why do you think
he,
they put?
she's not. It's the same premise that I said. The whole thing about Superman versus Clark Kent. They don't want Clark Kent. They want Superman. Even though they're
Well,
the same two damn people.
well,
They
I
don't
mean,
want. They don't want that. When
I
guys
was,
show up, he's a gentleman. He pull
They
out
say they
chairs.
want that.
You know, he's a cool guy. He don't curse at her. You know, he'll help her bend over backwards, and he's nice to her. I have actually heard women say, "Oh, girl, he cool, but he too nice. Or he too cool, but I'll take advantage of him. Or he cool, but he too nerdy." I've actually heard these words come out of women's mouth. This ain't hearsay. I've actually heard it. And they will go after Man and Pookie and them, knowing they ain't about nothing, but they want to flip them. They want to flip him over and make him be a good man. They want to take the devil and make him an angel.
well,
The
I mean,
damn devil.
that's because they want projects. They want to build the man that they want. But
That's it.
I was asking my wife the other day because we were watching some show, and I was like, I've never been a bad boy. I've always been a gentleman and nice and I'm educated and all that good stuff, you know. And I open doors, pull out chairs, that type of thing. And I've never been friend zoned. I've never been that type of the person that they try to take advantage of. I don't know if it's because I have that versatile side, not
No.
to be a bad boy, but I can be an but I'm an
You
ass. I'm
you
always
were
told
just
I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
you got a
the
good
deal with
spade.
you.
You got a good spade hand.
Now, the
That's what that
reason
was.
he survived it is
Uh,
he's really. I mean, he hadn't been a bad boy. I was more of a bad boy than him, but uh,
I've always been
he
an asshole though.
yeah, we're hella assholes, but that he get by because he got game. You forget that you have game. They see you opening the doors and with your little police look and all that shit. They see that with the little sandals and his little cargo shorts and shit and polo shirt. They see that shit, but 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 he looked like he can get out. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he can get out. And then he got hella game. He got a mouthpiece. And what I be explaining to people, conversation rocks the nation. Even though money rules the world, conversation rocks the
Revelation.
nation. And so he got conversation. So when women see him with his little hand in his pocket and his Rolex on and his little cargo shorts and his little sandals with his little toes out, but he got game. They like this nigga. He looked like he this, but he talked like that. So they confused, and he able to he don't get turned down or he don't get treated a certain way. They don't milk it, you know.
That's good.
And it's how
Oh,
like Derek say, it's how he carry himself. He has manner and
but
he opened doors. I mean, he I'm gonna tell this story and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Look, Richard. He had this
mm,
broad, right? Never
mm,
had a guy who opened doors for her before in her life, right? This nigga believed in chivalry, you know what I'm saying?
right.
So they was at my house visiting. And so it was storming. It was like in Louisiana. The storm was like, you know how them hard storms just hit real quick. And they may last about 30
Yeah.
minutes, then the sun come back out. But when they come down, they come down.
Yeah.
So this storm was like
Yeah.
hitting, boy. I'm talking about the rain was like coming down hard, hard. And she and him was getting ready to leave. They were getting ready to leave the house, right? And
Mm,
so I'm parked under the carport. Their car is behind mine, so their car is in the rain. She had an umbrella. She was standing at her vehicle with the umbrella up, man. And when I
mhm,
tell you it's storming like hurricane season, you can't see your
mm.
hand in front of your face. That's just how hard it's raining.
Coming down, coming down.
She stood there waiting on him to open the door. So I seen that and I hate that. You know what I'm saying? So I seen her at the car door just standing there with the umbrella. He's gonna go outside, try to run out there and open the door. I said, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I know what I need to show you. Come here, come here. And he didn't think, and he ran back in the house behind me to see what I ain't had shit to show him. And I had to think of something real quick. But she still was standing out there holding the door, mean mugging him when he came back outside 3 minutes later. Because I was like, damn, man, I was trying to think of something. I was on my laptop, like, man, I can't find it, man. I'll show you when you come back. That helper was still standing outside, bro, waiting on him to open the door.
Yeah, she got
He
accustomed to
believed
it.
it. He believed that shivery shit. My women would have been like, nigga, you was in there, take care of that shit. I'm in the car. You know,
I'm in
then
the
I was
car
then,
waiting.
so when he left, I asked him, I said, damn, man, you made her forget what her hands was for. She don't even know how to open no goddamn door no more.
Well, you know,
I
my
tell women in the beginning, I'm not opening no doors. Don't even expect it. I'm not opening no door. I'm not pushing no chair up. I'm not doing none of that. You can do that shit yourself. I'm not doing that.
well, I mean, we
I
were
mean,
walking
I mean,
through.
not knocking you, brother, but you doing
No,
you
no,
do your
no.
thing. You
I'm
do.
good. I'm good.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
mean
okay.
he hears it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So we were, my wife and I, we were going somewhere, and she stood back for me to open the door. This other lady was coming through. I was like, she's not gonna open the door. I said she's gonna wait on me. She's like, oh, I didn't know she didn't have no hands. I was like,
Thank
oh, no, no,
because
I ain't know, no.
he gonna open some
Yeah,
doors, but
cause
that girl actually forgot she had some goddamn hands, and I was looking at her like, you gonna stand out here in the storm instead of sitting in the damn car? She did that, and when I seen that, I was like, come on, man, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You know, yeah,
shivery,
you got some guys out here that's still chivalrous. But somebody asked me a question once on one of my videos I was making. They said, "Is chivalry dead?" And I said, "Yeah, women killed it. They killed it when they started calling dudes thirsty or he desperate, all this other nonsense, and the guy just trying to be nice. How the hell somebody be nice be thirsty? That makes no sense. You sitting there with your boob out and five butt cheeks showing, and expect him not to be thirsty. Of course he's gonna come at you thirsty. He only wants one thing from you.
well,
That's all he
yeah, he's
wants.
he's thirsty because you're offering the
He's a
water.
man.
Yeah, you offering
Exactly.
the water. So
Yeah, hey, he's a little parched. You know, he's a little parched. I've never understood that. You know, don't put up thirst trap pictures if you want a guy to come at you with respect. I know it's a little
but
off topic, but you know.
no. I mean, it can still fall up under that because a lot of
Mhm.
the guys don't want to commit to women that's like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, up there,
They
and they're not because of what they present. My thing is this: even on one of my videos I made, I say, you know, if you stand on the corner and you see somebody getting mugged or robbed or whatever, and you see a guy at the other corner in a policeman uniform, and you run over there and say, "Hey, somebody over there getting beat up or mugged," you be like, "Ain't no police. I just got the uniform on." Like, what the hell? And
right.
the same premise applies. Like, I'm not a 304. I just dress like this. Well, ma'am, you look like you're pretty easy to me. You know, that's why I'm over here talking to you. And I raised a question one day on one of my social media pages. I said, women, what do you guys really think why men even approach you to talk to you? Is it because they want to wife you or is it because they want to smash? Tell the truth. Be truthful with yourself.
I'm gonna go with Shajerica
100% of
said.
men that approach you, go ahead.
It's how they carry themselves. I'm gonna go with Shajerica. Chanel,
Mm-hmm.
click on the link if you want to join live. Just click on the link that's under the original post, the last post that I put, because I would really love to hear you say that. Come on. But yeah, I agree with Shaderica. It's how they carry themselves, and the fact that she's acknowledging that, because I get in a lot of debates. I'm not here to beat down women. I don't beat them down. My problem is, and I said this on a post that I made with the girl the lady who took the picture with her son at the school, kindergarten graduation.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that's crazy.
and like I say, y'all wear what you want to wear. I got no problem with y'all wearing what the hell you want to wear, but the problem is that I have, it's how you make us look as a people. You have the other races up there dressing nice. They went, they got the hair done. They probably went and got a nice little dress or a nice little fit to wear to the graduation. And here come our people representing us in some goddamn Daisy Dukes, cut
with
off
the
short.
zipper open.
But then when I say I don't like that, or I post why is she wearing this to that function? We wear what we want to wear. You know what I'm saying? Uh, who are you? What are you, a fashion designer? When I say the body, you should dress your body type, or you should respect or dress the environment that you're in or the event that you're going to. I get scrutinized, but it's not that I care about what the hell you wear per se. It's how
Time
you
and a place.
represent us as a people is where I be coming from with it. I could
In
care
my
less because you not mine. You made the money, you bought the outfit. But if I'm shopping at a grocery store, I just don't care to see your ass cheeks out in the middle of the goddamn day. I can see if you coming from the club. And if my son say, Daddy, look, I'm able to say, hey, she just leaving the club. But if it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock PM and you in a store, you a size 19 and you got on a size 12 short, I don't care to see that. And so a woman say, well, if she was a size 5, would it matter? If she was a size 5 and a size 2, yeah, because you still showing
That
the
still
ass at
matter.
the same fucking result. You know what I'm saying? Same result.
Yeah,
So
same thing.
it's not that I care about what you wear. I just want you to be more cautious on where you wear what you wear.
We're into that.
Wear what
Well,
you want.
Just
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And
Just
but the grocery store and you in your stripper clothes at 6 and 7 p.m. I ain't feeling that. Now,
so
if I'm
we're
at
we're
the
talking about
store at
all
one
women, right?
o'clock in the morning, 24-hour store, and I'm out there and you coming from the club, that's acceptable. I feel you on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, she just came from the club. What's happening? I'm gonna dap her down and move around. But when I seen the white woman pushing her child, he's looking, the little white boy looking, and the mom's like pushing him so he wouldn't look. And then I looked and I seen what I saw. And I was like, whoa, that's, you know what I'm saying? I took a picture. And then the black women don't want you to say nothing about them. It's like they can hate each other. Because y'all know, black women hate each other. They love each other. Hey girl, do all that white girl huggy shit. But on the same note, they don't like each other. So, but when a black man say something, man, they come together. They
yeah, they
they
form
they
like they form
yeah,
together
they
like
better whip
Voltron.
that black man's ass. And all he doing, majority of the men, if they say bashing black women, he only doing it so according to them, because
To make
it's
them accountable.
what they're wearing and how they're wearing, how they're representing us. And that comes from a man who gives a damn. You get what I'm saying? A lot of the new breed men don't give a fuck. They like
Yeah.
So
want
so
their
it's
women, they
acceptable.
want their women with their ass out, their titties showing, hey, this me, bro. This me. You know what I'm saying? You can't get me, you can't get me.
So it's
That,
okay. It's
But
okay
it's just like
for.
when I replied on the when I replied on that same post you're talking about, when I said that my ex in Vegas was a third grade teacher, and I've been to a few open houses that they had at that elementary school, and the women up there was dressed so damn scantily clad, see-through shirts. You know, you can see everything. This is elementary school, open
yeah.
house, and I'm talking about it ain't just sisters either. They're
That's
Hispanic,
what I was going to say.
mainly
Let's make
Hispanics
sure
and sisters.
that.
Mainly
But I've seen
Hispanic and
because
sisters
I've
because
seen some
that
white
side of
ones that do it
Vegas is
too.
dominated
But
by
it's
that.
majority us.
They had to send
I
home a
can't say
letter
majority.
and tell parents, hey, don't come to the open house like this again because there's kids here.
Yeah, he said they was banning them because of how they were dressed at that third grade
Yes, they were turned
function.
around at the door. They turned them around at the door. Like, nope, not coming up in here like that. There's kids in here. It's not
Well,
a
they should
club.
have. They
You're not
should
going to
have.
Treasures or Spearmint Rhino.
Yeah, they should have because that's not
Yeah,
acceptable.
exactly.
You do have
And
to learn how to dress going to. I mean, depending on what environment you're going to. So and then just like we have the dudes that wearing their belts around they knees. So they need to be somebody needs to tell them about that themselves. you got 60-year-old dudes still running around trying to hold on to braids and wearing freaking jerseys.
I ain't never
Now
been into that sagging crap.
you can't really.
That ain't never been
I
me.
get the sagging pants, but you can't tell a man not to wear a jersey if he like the Saints or he like the
First,
Dirty
Cause I'm
Birds.
rocking my Raider jersey every year, son.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So,
and on occasion, you're not wearing it every day. That's not how you dressing every
No, I
day
don't wear it every day.
with rhinestone pants and shoes on. You know what I'm saying?
with the name going across the
No,
belt, the digital
Exactly,
name.
exactly. But I don't wear jer. I mean, I love the
with
Steelers.
the dirty ass boxes on.
Yep, I love the Steelers. But if I'm gonna put somebody's name on the back of on my back, it's gonna be mine. I rock the jersey, but it's gonna be my name.
Oh no, I gotta rock that Howie Long, man. I gotta rock that Marcus Allen.
But yeah, I
Hey, but
mean, the white, don't get me wrong, the white people may do it too, but the white people don't represent us. And when you come
Right.
from a household or parents that respected themselves, it's kind of hard to be out here watching these women dressing and behaving the way they behave.
well, again,
Can't say nothing to him.
we're talking about a different generation. We're talking about
Respect is respect.
yeah, respect
I
is
don't know,
respect.
man.
What I'm saying
It's
is,
women our age wearing that stuff.
well, you do have that too, and I think that I don't know what the percentage is, but it's out
Me
there.
either.
But it's out there, and they're trying to keep up with their daughters and their
Yeah.
daughters' friends, and that's just
Competition.
stupid. They're competing against their flesh and blood.
And to be honest with you, a lot of them that's like that are jealous of their daughters because she know her time is setting and
Facts.
she kind of jealous of her.
I know this girl that her mom slept with two of her damn boyfriends.
That's
Two.
what they
And
do.
that's where we at. And we supposed to be proud and hold our chests up and our heads up high when we have our women dressing and behaving like that. We're looking like the women look a like back in the day, the white man used to say that the black woman wasn't good for nothing but sex. And it's like now that's what they're showing. I'm just being honest with you. Go down Richard, Facebook, social media, Instagram, go down mine, and that's all you see. All you see is women bending over trying to make that ass clap. And this from
Turn it to the sides so you can see how big their booty is.
how big the ass is. And this is from 17 to about 45.
Well, I mean, you have
Fire.
those women that are
Fire.
trying to compete for sexuality. You have those women that are trying to attract people to their OnlyFans because they know sex sells, and who's buying it?
Y'all,
No, I
y'all
mean,
keeping them
not
real.
me, not me.
Oh, okay.
Simps. I don't buy it. Hell,
So
Oh,
I
you
don't
don't
even
buy
watch
it either.
porn.
My bad.
I think porn is stupid.
that's who they're advertising for. That's who they're getting to come to their pages. So is it
Simps.
their fault that they're using what they have
Get
to
what they want.
grab the
You gotta get
attention?
what you got.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
to,
get
to
what you
grab the
want. And that
attention
what that song said.
of these thirsty dudes.
yep.
They're using
Yeah,
them,
it's a bunch of,
and they're
and
using
now
them.
it's a bunch of thirsty women that's looking at the women too.
Well, you
Oh
got
yeah.
that too. You got dicks in a backpack. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. Dicks in the backpack.
Yeah, I mean he gonna always come. He all his life he come with some shit like that. Every I don't care. He the first person in
That's
the
hella funny.
early 90s, late 80s hollering about a pocket pussy, and I never heard of it, never seen. Now they got him everywhere. But he knew
There you
about that shit in the 80s. That
So,
nigga
go.
but yeah, I mean, and then you got the women that's turning to the women because they're saying I can't find a good black man, but
now
they get a
now
black woman that dressed
now I
like a little
did
black
see that.
a black
And we
man.
need to talk about that too, because I do see that women who say they went the opposite way, they're now lesbian because of the different guys they dated turned them lesbian. Made them say they didn't want to deal with a man no more, and they started. messing
At the end
with
of
a
the
woman.
day, that's still their choice. Can't no man make you do nothing. Not in the United
Exactly.
States. Now, if you in another country, I'll believe that. But here within these 50 states, can't no
They can
man
get
make you do
so
nothing.
disgusted with regular
But if
monogamy and sex with a man that they try what's out there. And then
but
it's so many
it's
women.
their own personal choices. They chose these guys. These guys didn't force themselves upon these women. They
That's
chose
just
to be with these dudes.
that's
They
just
chose
like
them all by themselves. Men
exactly.
control the access to relationship. Women control the access to sex. The late great Kevin Samuel said that all the time. We can't control sex. Women control that. What we do control is relationship. We get to we're the one who propose. Women don't propose in this country. This ain't West
But
or
they
East Central
proposing
Europe.
now.
Yeah,
But
they
women get
yeah, I
on
was
their
gonna
knees to
say they
propose.
when they get on their knees now.
It's like I say, this new lost generation. Well, actually, they the cancel generation. But the cancel generation, they do whatever. They go with the flow. And so since social media and television media period is pushing homosexuality, everybody want to be homosexuality out of the new breed, the 30s and under. They want to experience uh,
They can have that,
homosexuality.
homie.
They should be called the
That's up to them.
cancer generation
Hey, both
because
of them.
they are destroying. They're
Yeah, they the
destroying
cancel.
everything.
They are the cancel generation,
No, the
30 and under. Oh,
cancer generation.
cancer, because they a plague.
Yeah, they're
But
Cancer.
yeah,
destroying
they.
everything.
But the deal
Yeah.
is they go with the flow. And see, when we were coming up, like I say, we heard Two Live Crew. Luke made us
Of course.
know what women, what was forbidden. He made it where you can see it. You know what I'm saying? He brought the strip
Yeah.
club to the media. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Social
Rudy Ray
media.
Moore, Blowfly, all of them. Yep.
Luke Skywalker made it where you can see it. And so, and that was just bathing suits. They was in bathing suits.
Right.
Every blue moon you'll see a thong. That was it. But now
Harry kitties everywhere.
you know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
now they done made his Luke Skywalker look, which were first people. He was the first one they start putting the explicit,
Tags
Parental,
on
you
it.
know, parental
advisory stuff.
advisory on his music. Now the new breed make his stuff look PG.
Yeah, like a Disney cartoon.
Yeah, his stuff is Luke
you know,
Skywalker. Me So Horny video look like a damn Disney video compared
remove
to
something.
what's out here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, they making soft porn videos now.
Yeah, they soft porn.
Facts.
And so,
Facts.
and then the cancel generation go with the flow. They don't have no they're all
Filter.
majority of them are followers. And so they sit there and they watch that and they'll see a woman kiss a woman. Now they want to be with a woman. They'll see a man say he gonna move a husband and wife move a woman in. Oh, I wouldn't mind being no unicorn. You know, I'll live with them. It's whatever they see they want, and they
Yeah,
pushing that out there. And like I was saying to another person, another lady that was debating with me, they're pushing that out there to destroy the black family. So if they can get all these women to be
Of course.
lesbian and all these men to be gay and
Or
transgender,
to be.
that's
Yep.
gonna
It
eliminate
destroys the
how
nuclear
many
family.
children we have being born under a mother and father. You get what I'm saying? And
well, I,
so,
they're pushing a lot of stuff like that, and they're pushing it even into schools. And I was watching some, my
Yep.
wife and I, we were watching something the other day, and they were like, in China they're learning calculus, and in the United States they're learning twerking from a transsexual or whoever.
yeah,
That they actually allowed in the classroom. Now they got
Yeah,
a tranny alphabet book. A means for this, and B means for bi, and C means for
no, and
blah blah
then,
blah, all the way down to
and
Z.
like I say, I have nothing against the LGBTQ, whatever I call them the
I
alphabet.
mean,
I
you.
have
Hey,
nothing
do
against
you?
them. It's
Do you?
some lovable people. Do you? But they
Yeah, do
also
you?
in I want to say in Monroe they having their first transgender person running for prom queen or something.
my
Uh,
thing my thing is, the only thing that I don't like is just the push on it. Let the kids grow up to choose what they want to be. If they choose to go
I
that
say that
way,
all the
then
time.
allow them to go that way. But I don't like the way that they push this stuff to the kids through like Transformers.
Confusing.
I was watching something on Transformers, and they have a non-binary robot or whatever the freak is called.
Yeah, I
So
Oh,
saw this coming out of the
it gets deeper than they got
so
a. You say on the Transformers they have a transgender robot.
yeah. So
Yeah, it's coming out in June. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
July
but
10th.
it's the fact that it's out there now, so you can't deny it. You get what I'm saying? So,
It's not even denying it, but it's the way that you're pushing it. You're pushing it into these kids' minds that they don't have to be male or female anymore. They don't have to go by their born gender. They
boy.
can go by an assigned gender.
But I heard that if Trump get into office, he's gonna cut a lot of that stuff out.
He is.
Well,
He's already said it.
Or the
Of course,
Santos.
all this underage castration they're doing, he gonna kill all
Yeah,
of that.
Well,
All
I mean
this
that
you want to
shouldn't be a
identify as
choice
this and
anyway.
that, he gonna get rid of all of it.
That should be a choice until you're 18
I,
or
I, I
18
Until
or
agree
you're
with you on
21.
18.
that.
I
17,
said the
18.
same exact thing. Until you're 18, yes. Then you're free to do what the heck you want to do. You don't know what you want to be at 9 and 8 years old.
And I don't
Most
understand
of them never figured it
the
out.
parents that support it. I just don't understand the parents that support it to that extent. Now you can
They're
support
afraid what somebody gonna
your
say, or they don't want
child.
to lose their kid.
Yeah, you can support your child in their psychological growth, and if they still grow into that role that they feel like they were designed to be, and it was a mishap that they aren't, then you can help them grow into and through that. But to support it at this particular stage in their life by changing how they look, changing how they represent themselves to the world, then I just don't agree with that.
And how you doing,
I don't agree with
Jeanette?
that either. Because even
Jeanette.
when we was in elementary school, there was always a little boy hanging out with all the girls. He would turn all the cartwheels, and he had a lot of feminine manners. We already knew what it was. He had the girls who was always hanging out with the dudes. They call them tomboys, but she didn't really like boys. She used to look at girls. But we
But
knew what it was. When nobody
we
forcing
we
them to
knew
do
what
that,
it
it was
was.
just
But on
there.
the same note, that tomboy got dicked down every now and then too, though. And then that
Yep,
guy flipping them, turning them
it
flips,
did.
slipped off in the back room and was still getting him some coochie every now and then too. Now, that was back in the gap though. She was
Right.
tomboy, but she was getting dicked down. We never did catch her kissing another
Yes.
girl. None of that shit. You never
No.
seen that boy hugged up with another boy. And every blue moon, we'll be like, damn, she messing with him.
And
He
I
want the same
Hmm.
thing she want. But
and I hung
but
out
they,
I hung out with a lot of girls. I ain't never do no cartwheels and flips and have no feminine ways, but
you did. Now you used to turn flips now, Jay. Come on.
well, I did maybe a flip, but I wasn't turning no
Right.
cartwheels.
You weren't doing cartwheels. He said we used to turn flips because we took gymnastics and things, but but yeah, but you didn't catch them. Now they don't care. So how you doing, Chanel? What's up with
I'm doing well. Can you hear me all right?
you? Oh yeah, you great.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, we
doing
went
good.
from the women not submitting, not wanting to do submission. Then we start talking about all the things that's going on that's
Mhm.
going on with the new generation. That submission is one of the last things on their mind because they got
Mhm.
so much other, so much going on. It's just it's a different time. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's different. But I had to explain to them that submission, a lot of the modern day women think
Mhm.
submission means slavery. And
Right.
that's not
It's
what
not.
submission is.
It's not.
And like I gave the example, it's like, let's just say the wife got 2 grand. All of a sudden, let's just say somebody who owed her some money paid her 2 grand.
Right.
Instead of her taking that 2 grand, going to get tattoos, weave, and
And a fake
clothes
Louis
off
Vuitton.
Fashion Nova, she'll come to me and say, hey, with this 2 grand, what you want to do? Did you want to put so much on the car, so much on the
Mhm.
house, gonna pay
Right.
this up? You know what I'm saying? And then if I
Mhm.
say, hey, just do what you want with it. That's your money. I already got
Right.
the bill. If you want to take that 2 grand, hell, you've been hollering about this uh $800 wig. Get your $800 wig. Give me 300. Give me 500. and you
Right.
take that 1,500 and go
Yeah,
get your
go get
wig,
your
get your
wig. Right.
Fashion Nova,
Mhm.
go and get your tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if that's what you want to do, go do that because I know you've been sacrificing and doing without. So now you got $2,000. You go do what you gonna do. Just give me 500 so at least I can do something.
Right.
Toward
Right.
the house, toward what happened. Give me some Adidas. I ain't hard to please. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but she'll come to me and I make that final decision on
Mhm.
what we're gonna do.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
but
that's a partnership,
that's a partnership,
a
and
true
she trusts
partnership.
me to be the leader
The head of the
in
household,
the
the
head of
leader.
the household. So
Mhm.
when anything goes down, as far as money that's involved in making major decisions that can affect the family as a whole, she
Mhm.
comes to me. No matter if she's on the phone, I don't care if I'm in the middle of working or whatever. If it's
Right.
something important, she's gonna say, "Hey, I got such on the phone. They trying to do this and that and that and that. What do you think?" And
Right.
then if I say, "Well, that ain't enough," or "No, I don't want to do that," she say, "Well, no, we're not gonna do that because
Right.
she trusts me to make that
There you
decision."
go.
That don't mean that she's a slave because she's like, um, I was getting ready to go and get another car this weekend. I
Mhm.
wanted another vehicle, you know
Right.
what I'm saying, for us to travel in. So I'm finna give me a third row SUV.
All right.
She said, I don't think we need to do that right now.
Mhm.
And I was like, but in July, we got to travel to Louisiana. We probably end up going to Florida. So I'm
Mhm.
just gonna go and get it, and boom, boom. So we don't have to put it on the car because it already got 70, 80,000 miles
Mhm.
on it. And I
Right.
don't want to, put it on it. But we can rent a vehicle. So she was putting in my head, well, if you buy it though, and something happened or we get behind on something because
Mhm.
of that note, that's
Right.
gonna be on you. But I don't think you need to get it. But if that's
Right.
what you want to do your thing.
You do it.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So she controlled that because I chose not to get it.
Right.
But
And
But she made a case
she
for
still
what made
brought
sense.
that to me. She still has an opinion.
Right.
You're not a
Mhm.
slave, but then I had a lot of women coming in saying things like, uh, he be submission. The man gonna tell them what to do, how to do, when to do. That man's
Yeah.
being controlling.
That's controlling. That's different.
That's controlling. That's not.
It's
So
different.
so let me give an example where someone may be like, I ain't gonna do that. So
Yeah,
and I'm for the reverse it. So it was my day off. I took the day off because I was going to do my doctor's appointments and stuff. My
Mhm.
wife was in another room working. So she texts me on my day off and say, and I had to fast that day. So she texts me and say, "Hey babe, can you fix me some eggs, some turkey sausage, and some toast?" I'm like, shit, this is my day off. But I went ahead and did it
Mhm.
because I know it would be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at that as being a slave or anything. And then she had the nerve to tell me, hey, don't make my eggs too hard, make it soft. But anyway,
right. But the new generation feels like submission
Mhm.
means slavery. We want to be
Slavery.
equal. We
oh,
want to be equal. Is what Misha has said, that if we can't be equal, uh, you know, and then they say they got poor leaders.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too. But then Misha said we want to be equal yet protected at the same time because
And I
women
say, and
put
what
in
is
a lot
equal
of
though? Right? What does that mean? What does equal mean? Right? Does equal
exactly.
mean to be exactly the same as a man? You can't be exactly the same as a man
Can't be
unless
the
you want
same.
the
they
duties
don't
like you with a
understand that,
man.
Janelle, and we
Don't
need
get it.
people like you to explain that to the woman. We're we're equal as far as
Here's the thing.
being
We
what?
we
If
have
if I
we
have
have
the same job as
We're
you and
not
I
the
do the
same.
same thing as you, I want to be paid the same.
Right.
Right? That's equal. Right? If we both running in a foot race, I need to go against women because we equal on a physical level, right? Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
differences between
Men are
fair,
naturally
what's
stronger
fair, and what's equal.
majority of the
Stronger.
men.
What's
and
inclusive
then
Upper
and what's
body strength.
equal,
Right.
right? Because being included is different than being equal. Then that's a different story. That's a whole different deal.
So
And then in a
include
in a relationship, if you're in a relationship or a marriage, it it works as a partnership, and you
Right.
strengthen your partner where they're weak at.
That's
So
right.
you're never
Right,
going to be
exactly. That's
equal.
what it should be.
Neither
Never
of you are
gonna
going to
be.
be equal to each other.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you're there to help each other to be the strongest person that they can be.
Right. I
and
don't know
it
if
just
y'all
don't happen
saw.
that a man is naturally stronger.
Right. I don't know if y'all
Right.
saw that
Which
there
is
was a
why I don't agree
graphic.
with
There was a
oh, which I was gonna
graphic
say, which
of
is why
the
I don't
difference
agree
between.
with trans being in women's sports, like the guy swimming
No, I
against
don't.
female
Yeah, and I
swimmers.
totally
Of
support the
course, you're gonna
trans
come in first
community.
place.
Right. I totally
If you
support the
wrestling
trans
against
community.
a
I don't
woman and
believe
you a
that they should
boy,
be
of course you're gonna
competing.
win all the wrestling matches.
I
Right.
That's
won
not
all
fair to
mine.
women. You a man pretending to be a girl, you're gonna beat all the girls wrestling because you're
And
stronger.
that's
You have
not fair.
stronger upper body strength.
Right. And I agree with that. I agree with the fact that, and I don't agree with the term pretending to be, but I agree with the fact that physically, if you were born in a man's body, you have a man's body, right? And so you should not be competing against women, right? Because their bodies are made different, right?
But
And vice versa,
Even if
right?
they're fighting for another man,
What you mean?
y'all to catch that.
I caught it. But on the same note, Chanel, it's like men and women today are in competition. Society, social media, and everything got everybody in competition.
Right.
I actually seen, I'm gonna say about 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I told y'all we got a bougie Walmart, we got a ghetto Walmart right here in
Of course,
Covington
in every
County.
city.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I was at the ghetto Walmart,
Mhm.
and this girl, she might have been 5'6". This guy might have been 6 feet even. She may have weighed 140. He probably weighed about 180, maybe close to 2.
Mhm.
And she was in the parking lot nigging up. I'm talking about cop, cop. And then she was getting him for a minute.
Mhm.
And then he just boom,
Right.
and she fell. And then at this time, I guess somebody had called the police because the
Mhm.
police started coming. And but he hit her one good time and she dropped. But she
Yeah.
was tagging him good. And he was hitting her a little bit, but she was
Right.
sticking him. Everybody was like, oh, she getting him. But then
Mhm.
I guess he got mad and he hit her one good time. Blop, and she hit the pavement. And so I was like, women actually think they can take on men these days because of the social medias and
Yeah.
the tele. I don't know what it is, but they think they're equal and better than a man. And and even with me growing up, my granddad, he had a stroke, and he was sitting in his wheelchair or whatever. And I'm walking around there, I might have been maybe 10, 11 years old, and I'm wild. And so when that man grabbed me though, and he finally grabbed me, because I'm looking at him like he an old man, you ain't this, that, and that.
You gonna get me?
Dude, that man grabbed me like this. He didn't
Mhm.
grab me with his own hands. I think maybe these fingers wasn't working because of the stroke. But the
Mhm.
three he grabbed my arm with,
Got you
dude,
though.
I did not know that old ass man
Mhm.
was that strong.
Old man
So
strength.
I learned
Old man strength, baby.
at that time, yeah, that's when I learned about that, because I just thought
Mhm.
he was gonna be frail because he was 70 or 80 years old. He had a stroke, so I'm in there clowning. And then I
Mhm.
messed up and got a little too close to him, and he grabbed me, and I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I had all
Okay with
respect
that.
for elders ever since then." And then, like I said, I was 10, 11 years old.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that to say we're not equal. Men
Right.
and women are not equal.
Right.
Boys and men are not
They're
equal.
not equal.
No matter what that boy think he can do this and that and that, if that man is in shape and he's physical, you ain't a 20-year-old ain't finna mess with no 40 and 50-year-old if that man's in shape. Because he done been there, done that, and then lifted way more than you to support himself. And he didn't get to be
And
40
he
and
done learned
50
some
years
skills
old.
over the years as well.
He done been what?
He done learned some skills over the
some
years.
skills over the years.
Exactly. I
So,
found that out the hard way when I thought I was ready to fight my dad at 15. It took like 3 seconds. He
I mean,
folded my ass up. He folded me up
so,
like a blanket.
so women want to
okay,
be equal.
my
Women
mama was
want,
4 foot 10 and a half inches. At 12 years old, I was her height. I must have thought I was grown because I was her height, but she showed me different. You know, she told me different. You know,
so
that's right. It don't make you
the
equal.
submission don't mean that it's slavery, but on the same note, like I was explaining too, a lot of men and women are not good in leadership roles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Leadership to them mean telling you what to do, telling them what
That's
you
being
can't do,
bossy.
ordering you around. You get
That's
what I'm
being
saying?
bossy and
And
control.
that's not what you should be in.
Right.
And so I compared it to that worker that all y'all come in together. Let's say 12 of y'all come into training together.
Mhm.
Y'all on that job for about 5 years.
Right.
One get promoted to be a team lead. And she know the hell y'all went through when y'all first got there with the team leads, what y'all didn't like, how they was handling you, this, that. Then she gets in that position, especially a woman, no offense, but
No,
women handle
things different.
authority
Mhm.
totally different. And I've been
Mhm.
all over the globe. And
Yeah.
everywhere I go, a black woman tends to handle her authority a tad bit different than a man.
Because we
The
got
men that came from nothing and that was bullied or looked at some type of way, he handles different. He
right.
handles authority different
Different.
than the privileged man.
Right.
So, but women got it bad.
Mhm.
Soon as they get that little authority, you need to be here on time. I don't, and the other supervisor would give them. You got up to 3 to maybe 4 or 5 minutes late. If you over that 5 minutes late, then it's grounds if you do it too many times that you get written up.
Mhm.
But that you get that black woman that ain't used to authority, she gets that authority. Hey, you need to be here. If you 8:03, you're late,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna
But
write you up.
and
You
the
know what I'm
thing
saying?
is,
Knowing that
Because
that's
she's
what y'all was complaining about when y'all were a team. So
right.
a lot
And
of
it's
people
because she's
can't
trying to
handle.
prove herself
Yeah,
because women are at the bottom, and we talk about this all the time. Black women at the bottom of the totem pole, and we are the most disrespected, and we are the most, the most disenfranchised, right? And when you get in position, then you got to prove to everybody that you deserve it. You got to. We don't have the leeway, right? Because the moment we give a little leeway, they're gonna say, "Oh, she's not a good leader. We're not gonna." So we overdo it when we get in those positions in an effort to show that we can do it,
yep,
right?
and that's
Because
that's
we're
what I was
always
saying
looked
earlier.
over, we're always
but
looked past, like and yes, it's an overcompensation, and it's not right. It's not right at all. But that is that's the reason. The reason is that we have not been respected up until that point.
and
We have
so is
not been
that
taken
the
seriously.
reason why the modern day woman don't feel like she should submit, so to speak?
I don't think that's necessarily the same as
What
like
is the? I
being in
mean,
a position. I
why
think
so many? When I did the poll,
mhm.
so many was saying we need to be equal. Uh, why he get to make the decision? That's our house. It's like, and it's
Because they
always the
don't
30 and
understand what
under.
partnership looks like. They don't understand what partnership looks like. It looks like, just like you said, your wife will come to you and say, "Hey, I don't think it's a really good decision. Okay, let's talk about it or whatever," and all that. And if you trust your leadership, right? And most of that is like we've talked before, like a matter of not being able to trust the head of the household to be the head. So if you grew up in a household where there was no male head, first of all, and my mama was running the house, that she was doing all the things, then that's my example, right? And there were no men to be found, or there were men that were present that wasn't doing what they're supposed to do. So what example do I have, right? So then you have, okay, now I made some bad choices, and now I got this baby daddy or that baby daddy or whatever the case may be, right? And
Right.
so they ain't show no leadership. They ain't stay in the game. They ain't doing what they needed to do. And so now here I am again showing men qualities because I don't have the freedom to just be a woman and be feminine and allow myself to be gentle and allow myself to submit, if you will, because there's been nobody in my life that showed me what that
So
looked
you
like.
got forced into masculinity, is what you're saying.
A woman you can't feel safe in your femininity unless there is strengthen the masculinity in the house, in your presence.
And then that happens in the relationships where they
Yeah,
have to come in and be the mother figure because the men aren't being men. They're they're being the child of the woman.
come on, man. Right. And if you're raised by a mother who enabled you, and then whether it be a single parent household or a dual household, if you're not taught how to lead, then you can't be a good leader, right? And there are mothers who like enable their boys and give them everything and don't teach them how to work for nothing and and all that, and they coddle them to the point that they don't make good leaders. So they're when they get out here looking for relationships, they start looking for another mama. I need somebody to take care of me. I need somebody to do this. I need somebody to do that.
All right, let me ask you this. How do you feel? And I'm asking a woman, and I'm gonna put
Ask
you
me.
on a
You
kind of
know,
like a
do
blast.
it. Do it.
Okay. Now, with the women, would you agree or disagree that women with a good father figure, when I say good father figure, I'm saying a good father in their life, I'm saying that man who grew up in the old school. He
Took care of his
went
wife,
out there,
took
he
care of
worked at the
his kids.
mill, he took care of the house,
Mhm,
mom cooked, made sure the kids were dressed, she cleaned the house, had his food prepared when he got home.
mhm.
Will you say that they make better, are more quick to understand what submission is, make better wives
They grew
than
up
the
in a
one
household
who was
like that.
raised with a single mother?
I would say so because their house is more balanced. I don't, and I don't necessarily subscribe to the old school way of things, but they are more balanced. They can see that thing, right? But we also don't live in a society anymore where one person works unless they're a baller. You know what I'm saying? Where one person can work, another person can stay home. In an average family, we
Both
can't
ways.
do that. It stuff is just too expensive. You need two incomes. Most of us, and myself, I'm not about trying to stay at home and take care of kids. It's not my jam, right? And stuff like that. But I do think even in that there should be again, it's a partnership. There should be, and I never believed in women not having any opinions or having any say so in what goes on in a household. But you should be able to depend on and trust your leader if he's being a good leader, right?
Right.
But if you grew up in a household where there was no male there, a male that was doing what he's supposed to do. Because some males are in the house but not doing what he's supposed to be
Yeah,
doing.
that's Austin had said that earlier because he had shocked us because he said it was a situation where he knew a guy grew up in a house with his mother and father, but
Mhm.
he still running around here living off women and not wanting to work. And I was like, that's kind of odd. But then he said it's not odd when that's what the father did.
That's what Daddy was doing.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that's
So
your first example.
we just didn't see that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That wasn't going on
Hmm.
in the 70s and 80s. That wasn't going on. We were taught each man need to have his own. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And Dad started preaching that at maybe 10,
Hmm.
12 years old when he see you interested in women.
Right.
Every man need to have his own. And the way mine broke it down to me is he used to put us to work. I'm talking
Yeah.
about we had a wood burning stove. So
Hmm.
anytime a damn storm would hit and a tree fall,
But
that
there
joke
you go. We
had
took
us
care of that. Right.
with the thing,
Right.
and I got to pick up big old stumps. So when I used to
Hmm.
wrestle with people and everything, they were like, "Boy, you
You
cockstrong,
strong.
you ain't getting no sex." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting plenty of sex. I'm picking up
Just
wet
working with
wood,
this wood.
and I'm in a rush because I want to go and be with my friends, and we could go until you
Unless you
finish
did
picking
the
all this
work.
wood up.
Exactly.
Then we have to stack the wood all
Come
pretty.
on.
So pops worked the hell out of me. So he said, either you gonna get your education and work behind a desk,
Hmm.
or you gonna dig a ditch. Which one you want to do?
Right.
So when he put that in my head at the 7th and 8th grade, I knew right then I didn't want to do manual labor. So
Right.
I did all my jobs been
There you
where I
go.
use my brain. And like I tell people, a mental tired or outweigh a physical tired any day.
Any day.
And
Any
they
day.
understand. And they was like, hey,
Facts.
you look so young and you this, that, and that. Hey, I don't stress. I
Right.
wasn't doing graveyard at the damn mill at
Mhm.
19 and 20 years old for 30 years. I
But I mean,
didn't do
even
that.
as a single woman's household, like my mother didn't buy name brand stuff. And so when my brother wanted, the hottest shoe that was out or whatever, mama gonna go to Payless or something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that's what's in her budget. She a single parent. If you want something more, if you want something better, then son, you need to go out there and work and get what you want. I'm all for it, but you need to work for that. In my household, my kids, your room is your due diligence. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But there are chores throughout the house that you can earn money for. You clean the car, you can get some money for that.
I
Teaching
did.
that work ethic early in the game. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? My best friend's 5-year-old. I'm not. I keep calling that boy 5. He's 7. He's 7 years old. He puts out the trash and he earns $1 for every time he get that trash put out, right? And
Hmm.
that's what he gets to buy the things with. But that also means we're not running to the store buying toys and all that all the time.
Hmm.
You get toys for Christmas, you get toys for your birthday, special occasions and stuff like that. Anything you want in between there, you gotta take care of it. But my girls too. I stopped buying clothes, hygiene, all that stuff at 16 years old. You're old enough to work, right? And even if you don't get a job outside this house, then you find something that you can earn money for in here. If you do something that's my job, like putting my clothes up or cleaning my room, well, I'm gonna pay you because that's my responsibility. So
Hmm.
thank you for taking care of that for me. Here goes some money. But it's showing
Yeah, I
that
got
you
I
need
got
to work in
allowance
order to
when
get
I
your
was growing up. So that also taught me to work.
right.
We had to
You're
clean the
just not
house.
entitled to just get what you want.
Yeah, I had to clean the house, and I got allowance. And
Right.
when I didn't do all my chores the correct way, he deducted my allowance.
Hey, yeah, I'm telling
And
you, you did that.
and so with getting that, I learned that in order to get what you want, you have to work
You
for it.
have to work for it.
But
Yeah.
a lot of the
And
parents,
that's
like
what
you
if
just
you don't
said,
teach them that early
now,
in the game, if you buying them something every time they ask for it, or
yeah,
like running them to the store every time, no. Mm-mm.
Well,
and that's what
I
you
fell
say
in that.
going on with a lot of the men today. The parents are
They
just
take
giving,
care of
giving,
them too
giving.
much.
Well, I fell in the category of I just got what I wanted.
Yep,
My grandparents, every time the bottom of my shoes got dirty, if I wanted something else, and I was always in designer this, designer that.
yeah,
That was just me. But the people around me worked, and they worked hard, and I understood that, and I saw that. So that's where my work ethic and grind came from. So even though I got everything I wanted, and I never had a job
Mhm.
until I went into the military for the first time at
yeah. We didn't
19.
work. My folks told me all I had to do was make the grade, so I stayed on principal's list,
Even that
and
though, you still did the work that they required you to do.
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah, you
my
still
job
go to
was going
school
to
and get your
school.
grades and do what you needed to do. So you still earned it in some way,
Right,
So
And for many, even as simple as if you're doing what you're supposed to do in the house, if you're doing what you're supposed to, like you're being respectful, you're doing all the things you're supposed to do, right? Then sure, I'll buy you some things, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, you can't cut up and still get what you want.
right.
You
well,
can't be disrespectful
I
and
guess
still get
that's
what you want.
yeah, I guess that's one thing. I didn't cut up. I was never a bad kid,
See, that's what
Now
I'm
he
but
wasn't
saying.
bad.
I didn't really have to work for anything. Everything was
You
just
know.
given to me and handed to me,
Mhm.
and that's just what it was. There were no stipulations on how I received something or what I was going to receive. I didn't have to do this to get that. It was
Mhm.
just given to me,
Yeah,
and I was always just taken care of and
Mhm.
pampered
yeah.
in
His
different
his
ways.
grandmama and his dad side spoiled the hell out of him,
Yeah, and I
and
mean, and that's grandparenting.
yeah, they did that. And so when he would come with his new Adiodoras and stuff we ain't never heard of, I had to step it up. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, they was giving it to him, but I did my house chores to get my money, and then I started. We started DJing. I started DJing. Me and a partner of mine, Renard. We started DJing at like 16 years old, throwing our own party, and we was making like $800 a
Mhm.
night, close to a grand every time we threw a party. And just imagine 16 years old making
Oh,
that
that's
type
good
of
money.
money
That's good
back in the
money.
90s, early 80s,
Hmm.
mid 80s. We were doing our thing. And so we would take that money and go shopping. This boy already just tell his grandmama what he wants.
And that's it.
We formed a group. we went and would buy microphones. I had turntables and all that stuff. And so he wanted to be in the group. So at that time, it was a Yamaha DX7, I think, was a hot keyboard that all the musicians had. I'm talking about the big time musicians, Prince, them, and all them. A DX7, I
whatever it
think.
was. Yeah.
We told him in order to be in the group, because I knew he wasn't gonna be able to get it. I say, man, in order for you to be in the group, man, I don't think we ain't got a synthesizer. We had one, but we had a Casio. A little Casio.
Yes.
We say, if you can get that DX7, you can be in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that dude came in 2 weeks. He said, hey, man, I need you to come by the house right quick. I went by his crib. That dude had a Yamaha DX7 in his living room, fresh in the box that his grandmama bought. And I was like, dude. So yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah, he was privileged where they just they spoiled it.
Right. And I'm glad the Austin you
you guys are fortunate. I didn't get none of that.
Right.
You guys are very privileged and fortunate. Now my sister got all the stuff. I was the middle kid, so I didn't get nothing.
You didn't get nothing.
And if my sister screwed up, I got in trouble. If my brother screwed up,
oh man,
I got in trouble. That's how.
You blame the oldest kid. The middle kid got it in your house. That's messed up.
Yeah, I'm the middle kid. I always got in trouble. My brother was the youngest. If he screwed up, I screwed up because I should have been watching him. If my sister screwed up, it was my fault because she a girl. I'm the oldest boy.
You the boy. I know it was something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a boy. Getting in trouble for my sister who's older than me.
Yeah. That's true.
So with women making their own money, being successful, do you see a decline in with marriage and submission because of how independent women are today, how masculine women are today? Is that contributing to the decline in marriages?
I think it has so much more to do with the lack of
I think
how relationships work.
Go ahead.
The lack of people understand how relationships work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be, like I said, the independence and as an independent minded woman, right? Because I didn't have a male figure in my life to that extent that, in my home, in my household, my mother was running all the things, right? And so I learned through that experience that I could not depend on men. So even when I got married, I didn't totally trust my husband. I ain't trust him to do the things, right?
So were you that wife that pretty much if you wanted a dress, a pair of shoes, you just bought it?
That's a good hard question because I didn't do much for myself. So I attempted to allow my husband to be the lead. But because of the household he grew up in, he wasn't good at that. Right.
Oh, okay.
And so there was a dynamic there that, that he wasn't a good leader at the time. And so, but I still allowed him to be the head of household, right? Hoping and, but my problem was because I didn't trust him, I never truly released the reins, right? I was too afraid to allow him to completely, because I wasn't willing to let things fall, right? So in my situation, which I see a lot of women in, and I have a lot of clients that the same thing, where the guy is like not pulling his weight, he's not showing leadership, he's not doing the things. Even if you say, okay, I'm gonna sit back and let you do the thing, but then when the things keep falling, then somebody got to pick it up. I can't let the whole household fall.
Right.
And stuff like that. So just granting somebody that position does not make them a good leader. Right. That's something that's taught. That's something that's learned and all that. You don't, I think the spirit of us, like you can come out being naturally a good leader, but if you was never, and I didn't understand about his household too, because his dad was a dad that went to work, and his mom stayed home and all that stuff, whatever. But it was him and his brother's perspective that oh, he just giving all his money to mama. I ain't never giving all my money to mama.
I mean, I understand that too, man.
And stuff like that, right? But that wasn't even my character because I work, right? And we're gonna do this together and all that. But that's something that he had in his mind as a kid.
But I could see where that could ruin him, because I know a situation where this man works 16, 18 hours sometime a day, and all he wanted was a damn pickup truck. But he couldn't get that pickup truck because mama wanted a fancy car, whether Lexus or something like that. Every time he get that little 25 grand to get his truck, he gotta please her by getting her the car she
wants. That wasn't their situation like that. Like, he was taking care of the household stuff. So when he saw his dad giving mama money, like, she was putting it in the house, No,
she
didn't grow up balling or nothing like that. But that was their arrangement. And I had to explain that to him. Like, that's not our arrangement. He wanted to take care of her, and she said, okay. And that's how they did that. But they wasn't like balling out of control, where he couldn't have the things that he desired because she wanted to spend it. It was simply a household situation that they agreed upon, right? He wanted to take care of her, and he did, right? And so that dynamic you're talking about is a totally different thing. Like, you should not be working super hard and not be able to get, see the fruits of your labor.
Every now and then what you want.
Yeah, you should be able to get what you want, as long as your household is taken care of. There shouldn't be an issue with that.
Right.
So I don't believe in like forfeiting all of your money over, to your woman or your kids for that matter.
But a lot of men did that back in the day, and that. Yeah. And I never understood that. And even today, I heard a woman on Facebook. No, I think it was TikTok. She said that her husband makes the money and he gives her his whole check, or his money is deposited into her account. But maybe she's the financial planner,
which is fine, if that's their arrangement.
If their arrangement. But I didn't think they did that today. But like you say,
some people do.
That's their arrangement. I know they did it in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Men was working because the men weren't educated.
They was taking care of the household, so all the money going to the household. I get that, right?
Yeah.
But if the household stuff is taken care of and all this gravy, I got this extra over here. And I don't know, I want to go buy some golf clubs, whatever it is this man wants. And, I don't see why he can't do that.
Man, a lot of women.
The woman got the stuff that she wants too. Like, he should not be suffering in silence, just forking over all the cash. Like, that's not cool business. It's just not cool business. That is not a good partnership, And if a woman were to put herself in that position, and I'm going to even say, the kids say, I'm working, and I'm just the kids have everything they need and want, and I got extra to do for me, but I can't do for me because I decided I'm gonna give to the kids. Like, that's not. You should be, if you're working, you should be able to spend your money on something that you enjoy and something that you like. That make a person miserable. That's even worse than just living paycheck to paycheck and just paying bills.
But a lot of men, real so-called, hardworking men, actually adapts to that though. That's their life. Because I heard Pop say one time that he was like, he put on earth to take care of her. And I was like, that's a sad situation. My brother and I look like we'll never, you know what I'm saying? So, and like I said earlier,
I thought about the fact that, men traditionally also have not taking care of their woman in like an emotional, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was monetary. Like, I got.
Okay.
I just thought about that.
That's probably where that came from. But when you don't know and you young, and you hear that, and then you see the problems that they go through, him 16, 18 hours, her sitting at home and every now and then going to the club with a friend girl, and because it's because of that I don't care for club women. Right. Women that's in the club every week. I don't care for a club hopper. I never dated a club hopper. You get what I'm saying? Because of what I saw growing up.
Yeah, right.
He working 16 hours, and then his sisters have to call him and tell him they seen her at the club. It was just a big mix. So my brother and I to this day, any woman who, hey, going to the club and can't wait to get dressed and meet up with their friends, go to the club.
Right.
Nah.
And for me, that's a situation of somebody using somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So
that's a whole different. That's just not a partnership. It's just not. You know, because both of us should be getting something we want.
So in your eyesight, partnership isn't dead. It's just hard to find a good partner to ship with.
Right.
Basically.
You gotta get the ship part right. You know what I'm saying? And that's because most relationships now are transactional. You give me that, I'm gonna give you this. Right? Like that's again, there's not a there's going to be some exchange, but it should not be transactional. You know, I do this for you because I care about you. I love you. I want you to have the things you want, but vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I should feel the same way about you. You know what? I want you to have the things that you want too. I want you to feel happy. I want you to be able to spend your money on what you like because you're working hard. You know what I'm saying? That there should be that. There should be that. Like, you know, this, you know, I'm just gonna trick off all my money and I'm just gonna sit around. I'm just working and just giving her that. You know, like that doesn't make any sense.
And I think because of that, it's like with the wife, whenever I like she maintains and holds a whole lot of stuff together. She decorates and she has to coordinate all these parties and events.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's doing that, I see the stress.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because she's stressed, and let's just say she has a big heart.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say we got a $5,000 event that she finna do.
Mm-hmm.
She requests like a $2,000 down payment to get all the stuff that she needs to get.
Mm-hmm.
Her people will come up short and say, well, I can't pay but $800 today. And give me another 2-3 weeks. I'm gonna send you the rest of it. I send another 8. And how much you say I need? Well, we need 2,000. Well, that's 16. But I'm gonna try to get you up. And she still takes on these projects. Me as a DJ and being there and done that and been the first one in business.
Yeah.
If you can't come with my down payment, I can't work.
I can't start your project.
But she starts on those projects with that $800. Knowing she needs this and that, dipping into our funds to make it happen because of her heart so big, then they eventually end up paying her. But when I see her going through all that, so every blue moon, I'll say, well, here go 300. You go do what you want.
Right.
Here go 500. You go do what you want.
Yes,
Let's go out and get this to get the stress out because those when they don't send all the money and they be friends and family. That's why a lot of the people I DJ and everything for, they not my friends and family.
You can't do that.
Yeah, my family knows. And this is family. If my family call me right now and say, hey, they gonna need some music played for the family reunion, they know they're gonna have to pay me because I'm not gonna leave and drive 9 hours from Georgia to Louisiana to DJ just cause y'all family. No, we good people and I love you all to death. I'm not gonna. I have what's called a family and friend discount.
There you go.
Nobody else, and that's what you getting is the family and friend discount. I'm not finna take my equipment all the way down there, hook up, entertain these people for 6 and 8 hours, and then say it's free just cause y'all family. No. I have a household and a family that I'm running. Now, if I was single, maybe. And they help me out every blue moon with some rent, some electric, water, some bills, utilities.
Right.
I feel probably obligated to do that. But now that I got my own family and I'm doing my own thing, I can't work for you for nothing. I just can't because it costs me $400 to leave here to drive to Louisiana and back. So you looking at $400 to $500 there and back, and that's just gas and me stopping at the store and eating. So I don't move for less than family and friend discounts. You're gonna have to pay me at least $600 to even think about coming.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? To even think about coming that way. And so I'm like, I'm gonna give you my friends and family discount.
Right.
So you basically paying for my gas.
Right. That
And I'm gonna stay with my parents when I go there, so you don't have to do hotel. But when I have to go to Florida or
mhm.
Arizona, not
That's
only are they paying the gas, they paying for the hotel, and I'm gonna get paid for my work.
that's
So
what
you
it
looking at easy to a grand to 1,500 if
right.
I'm going past 8 hours,
Right.
five. So, but yeah, so that's where that comes from. Watching that him working so hard and being stressed out and not getting nothing, which makes me give mine something
Right.
because I'm like, I know you stressed out
Right.
and I got this extra 500 that the bills are caught up. He go
Right.
500.
Here.
Don't
Right.
put this on your business though, because that person needs to pay
Need
you.
to pay you.
You
That's
take
right.
this and do what you want.
You
If
want.
it's nails done, if it's hair, if it's go in 3 days and eat at this Mexican restaurant
Right.
you like to do, you go do that.
Right.
Now, if I see you buying some Amazon, I'm gonna want my money back. I want my cash app today. You know what I'm saying?
And that's fair. But I
But
think men start to trick their money off because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do. First of all, they have this mentality, and of course, we also live in this society now that women are like, oh, he got to do this, he got to pay my bills, he got to do that, he got to do that, or whatever, which
man, I
also
thought that
tricks
would
me
have
off
faded
because
though.
because even with that, like, oh, you want to be equal though, but you want to be equal, but he still got to pay all your bills. That's not
Yeah,
equal. That's not
I don't
equal.
get
Not
that.
you.
Man,
Which one you
my
want?
wife was stressed out today from her little job situation, and so I just wanted to do something nice. So I stopped and got her a banana split,
Oh, that's so
and she was good with it.
But you know what she likes.
It doesn't always
It's
have
just
to
not
be
about
this
big gesture. It's about
right.
knowing your
But
person
you know
and
what,
doing what they
Chanel?
want.
He came from and I know he gone in this relationship
Mhm.
because he just came from a relationship where if him and her argue, this nigga had to go buy $3,000 earrings
Ooh.
just to get back in with an argument that she started and he really wasn't in fault. Like she might have saw an email or something from a year ago
Mm-hmm.
that she's questioning him about. He left his account open. She seen the email. This nigga would go through 2 days of bickering, and then he calling me, yeah, man, I just bought these $3 Cartier, some bullshit. I don't know that stuff because I ain't in there. Uh,
Mm-mm.
some earrings, and I'm finna give it to him. I'm like, dude, you know what you
Mm-mm.
can do with 3 grand?
Mm-mm.
Man, I just went and bought this such bag. The bag cost 3 grand. I bought her this tote. Dude, you know what you can do with $2,000?
Mm-hmm.
We can put a party together right there in Dallas, and I can come down there with that. You just rent the building, I got the rest.
Right.
But now to see him saying, and this is for my first time hearing him say that,
Mm-hmm.
that the wife he just married 2 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
2 3 months ago, is satisfied with a banana split.
That's right.
He gone. She got him wrapped around her finger because he ain't never had that. His second wife was kind of cool, but
Mhm.
all the other ones that he didn't had, he had to come with it. And I'm like, dude,
That's
you
too
just went
much.
about that?
You shouldn't even like a small gesture of apology is great.
Nah,
A
nah.
small,
He
like,
but
Well,
he created that monster in that
right,
last one, the one he
yeah.
divorced. He
So
created that monster.
yeah.
okay,
So it was so any other relationship that I was in, other than this last one, I didn't do all the high expensive gifts. Now in this last one, I was overcompensating because I was trying to make a situation work
okay,
that was not supposed to
the
work.
work. Okay, that makes sense.
So I overcompensated trying to make a person happy
Hmm.
that wasn't happy with herself
Right.
and could only see happiness in
Hmm.
material
The
goods.
material things. That's
Yeah.
what it's like.
And Chanel, I told him when he proposed to her, and I was like, y'all don't even seem like y'all
Hmm.
together like that for you to be proposing. When he told me he was gonna grow, they were gonna grow to love each other, I knew right then
Mm-mm.
that is not how that works.
No.
Yeah.
That's not
And
how that works.
you're right.
But I let him do it.
Right.
And boy, this is the worst relationship this boy ever been in.
So the thing was, the person that I'm married to now, I went to her before I got married to this last person,
Okay.
and I was like, I'm about to marry this person, and my in my heart of hearts, I wanted her to say, no, don't do that, but
Mm.
I guess it wasn't our time.
Okay.
So I went ahead and married this person, knowing that my heart was always over here with the person that I'm married to now.
What made you want to marry the other person?
Well,
Good question, Chanel.
well, the thing that made me want to marry the other person was the person that I was had been with before. We had gone our separate ways, and
Mm-hmm.
we weren't meshing like that at that particular time. Although our hearts were still tied together, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't our time to be in a relationship. So I was in a
Who's
position.
you?
I was in a position where um, me and this girl, we actually went and we were in a relationship. We ended up getting an apartment together. And then I was like, well, I mean, I guess the next thing to do is just marry her.
Yeah.
And so, um, and that's what I did. The night before the wedding, I started not to go through with it,
Oh
Mm-hmm.
but
yeah, I
she,
remember that.
You should
but
have followed
she,
that.
yeah, but she threw that. Hey, well, we got all these guests that came from out of town, and we can
Yeah,
There
that's
spend
what
them a
he
you
hit
go.
me
dollar.
with.
There you go. Guess
He
what?
hit me with that because
You
when
gonna
he
get your
called
altar and
me,
say, "Hey, we already paid for this, and we're gonna have a nice party, but we're not
dude,
getting married."
he called me. They was going through hell like the whole month of the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the week of the wedding, he called me and he was like, "Man, I don't even care. I don't even really want to do this and that and that." And so I was like, "Okay, then don't." You know what I'm saying? Because that you before angels of God and the angels in His assembly, marriage is not nothing to play with. So
Mm-hmm.
then 2 nights before the wedding, he called. Man, I'm just gonna go ahead and go through with it. We done already got the building. We done already paid all this money for all this stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through with it. And I guess that's when I heard that famous "We're gonna grow to love each other," and that's how he said it. We're gonna grow to love each other. And I was
You
like,
were
dude,
trying to
that
convince. You
shit
were
ain't
trying to
gonna work.
convince yourself.
So, but yeah, he told me that, so he ain't lying. That they had invested so much money in this wedding,
Yeah.
and it was really for her.
Yeah.
It was show for her
Right.
and her friend. More of her friends
Mhm.
came. All of her family.
Mhm.
Hardly any of his
Because we're
family was
more
there.
interested in the wedding than we are in the marriage.
And
Mhm.
that's what he preaches now. Uh, because when he just married the one he with now, it wasn't nothing extravagant. They did
Yeah, we did Zoom. We did it over
the Zoom.
Zoom
They got
in
married
his
on
living room.
Zoom,
Okay.
small gathering.
Nice.
Uh, you know, it wasn't extravagant. It wasn't no 20
Was
grand
it
wedding
about
like he had previous.
And
And
it,
I was
it's
like, I could have showed you what you could have did with 20 grand. That's your 18 wheeler.
Yeah.
well, and when I say that I am beyond happy at
Yes.
this point,
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could have had this years ago, but for whatever reason, the Creator God didn't put us together, put us in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But He's really blessed us, and I feel blessed and grateful
And you
that He
learn
brought
from
this
the
woman.
lesson. You
Yeah,
learn from that other situation.
I did,
You
And
know,
and
so
he,
nothing.
and
he kind
maybe
of
it,
lucky that the one he's with actually took him back because he left her 10 years ago. This he went back to
16 years
16
ago.
years ago. He went back to a relationship
The
because
heart wants what it wants.
yeah, he went back because he was like something new. He feel like it's too much.
No,
He
no,
tried
there,
for
Right.
something new.
Right. And you
no,
already
there was.
know. You already knew her.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, but before we got together, I did other
Mhm.
situations,
a
Right.
lot of
but but it led time. The timing was right.
Right.
God put us in the right position,
Wishing. Mm-hmm.
and all that counted, and
Yeah.
we picked up right where we left off.
Left off. That's
because
beautiful.
I thought he'd never marry again. Because how many marriages is it, James?
This is
I
actually
mean,
my fourth.
he's on his fourth marriage.
Okay.
Yep.
So I thought after this last one, because when I tell you through the ringer,
That was a
he
lot.
was not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, when my brother called me, because my brother he's out there in the DF Dub, also
Mm-hmm.
Austin is. My
Yeah.
brother lives out in that area too. I think he's around Plano. And when my brother was telling me different things about him, and I was like, he's not the same person. So then I started trying to talk to him, and I would hear him say certain stuff, and I like, nah, he ain't the one I used to run and
That
couldn't wait to
relationship
wake
tear
up
you
in the
apart.
morning to hang with. He wasn't the same. That
Mm-hmm.
woman was changing him.
Yeah. She
He
has
was
stripped you
not
of
the
everything
same.
that she would. They would. A bad relationship would strip you of everything that's you.
She didn't want him doing nothing.
Mm.
And I
Then
mean,
and she would tell him like that he can go, but he knew she didn't mean that he can go. Like if I when I came down there to visit him one time, I was in Plano, even though he was a hour and something away.
Mm-hmm.
She'll tell him he can go, but it'll be like, yeah, you can go hang out with him. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, just go. But it'll be he'll know her
Yeah.
tone. And I
Yeah.
said, man, I heard her say you can go. He said, man, she don't mean that.
Tell me that. Mm-mm. That's
Yeah,
controlling.
yeah. And I was like, man, I stopped talking to him for a long time because I didn't know how to relate to this new person. Because
Mm-hmm.
the one I knew wouldn't have never tolerated that stuff.
Right.
And I was like, man, where is this person coming from?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know. And I used to tell him all the time, you're not the same. He said, no, I'm the same, man, da da da. I was like, no, you ain't the same. But when he got out of it, he realized he wasn't the same.
Yeah. 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 So you feel like you was rebounding on that one?
on which one? Um,
On the
no,
last one?
no,
Mhm.
I wasn't rebounding. Because the one that I'm married to now, we have been broken up years.
Oh, it was years.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was years.
But your heart was
But we
still
were, yeah, but we were still communicate every now and then. So my thing was, I mean, I can tell you exactly what happened in every situation. You
mhm,
know, I was never marrying for the right reasons.
reasons.
I was marrying for, um, for show really with
Okay.
them,
Okay.
and I was, and then like I said on this last one, she had a lot of a lot of the qualities that I liked
Hmm.
in a person. She was smart. She was articulate. She knew how to dress and how we had great picture chemistry,
Mm.
but we didn't have great emotional chemistry.
Interesting.
Yeah, they
So
look good on the camera.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of them look good on paper situations.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm talking about they look good. His second wife uh used to favor Chili from TLC.
Ah, okay.
And he used to kind of favor Ursha back in the day.
All right. Okay.
And
All right.
so
All right.
when they
Yeah,
would
two
come in town,
couple.
everybody was like, there goes
Okay.
Chili and Ursha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was like, yeah, we look good together, but we're not good together. And I didn't know what he
Okay.
meant because she seemed
Yeah.
like around us, the second
You put on
wife,
a show.
his baby mama, the she was the perfect one for him. The family thought
Yeah.
we didn't want them to break up. We actually got mad at him when they broke up.
What's wrong with y'all?
But he was like, we just didn't know what he was going through. She was real religious
Okay.
and she was letting the church run them
One.
because
Okay.
it was running her.
Mm-hmm.
And uh,
Mm-hmm.
he was explaining that to us, but we was like, man, just let her go to church. But it was deeper than that because he was
Yeah.
living with her.
He was lit. Yeah.
So so
Yeah.
it's like certain things the church would want her to do that he felt like she didn't need to be doing.
And she was. Yeah.
Certain deacons and different things asked her to come over at certain times and do this and that he didn't feel like she needed to be jumping for. She
Yeah.
jumped quicker for the church than she
That's what
do
she did for.
at
Yeah.
home.
And and
So
and
it took
and to be fair and to be honest, prior to this one, I was not and I was not in the same mentality that I am now. I
Right.
wasn't I wasn't a great person
Yeah.
in those particular relationships. So I'm not
Right.
gonna put it all on them
Yeah. Yeah.
because
It's to it.
yeah,
Right.
because I wasn't good because they weren't really what I wanted.
Right.
So I was going to other pieces,
Mm-hmm.
getting the pieces
Pieces.
that
Yeah.
that was missing.
that was
Hmm.
missing.
Yeah.
And But now I have the whole person.
Person.
I
Yeah.
have my friend, my best friend, my lover,
Hmm.
my side piece, my wife. She's
Everything. Yeah.
everything. And
I'm
I
so
am
very
and
happy for you.
yeah, and I am a better person
Yes.
and I'm in a better space. So she doesn't have they went through so she wouldn't have to go through. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I
God was
learned how to
grooming
be what I had to
you.
learn to be what I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking
Well, so
about with,
senior relationships are necessary to help you grow and to
yeah.
to be the person that you need to be for your real person.
Yeah, and
And that's
see
what I was thinking about that earlier today with mine, because I used to always preach against guys marrying and stuff. I never wanted to
Mhm.
be, because
Yeah.
my thing was, man, you got you a good girl. And I used to say, yeah, they all good till you catch them. I was one of them.
Shut up.
So, so my partners be like the ones, and I had a whole bunch of people up under me that live by what I say. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
you can't trust them. You know what I'm saying? You trust them far as you can throw them. Uh, a woman only gonna tell you what she wants you to know. Like if a guy in her DM, the
Hmm.
one she don't like, she gonna tell you about.
Right.
She ain't gonna tell you about the ones she like. That's what I'm preaching to guys. So when they saw that, and I was like, ain't no woman gonna move in with me. And
Uh-huh.
then when they saw I move one in, they're like, man, what's going on, black man? You said. I'm like, man, she different, bro. She different. And then when the talks of the marriage came, man, I can't believe it is. And they still say that to this day. And
yeah,
Right.
we
cause
going on like 6 years. And
Hmm.
they was like, man, I still can't believe you did it. Cause I'm telling you, when
Hmm.
I preached about how low down, evil, sneaky,
Hey,
conniving a woman is, a
dang.
man got his cheating game from a woman. A woman cheated first. And so
yeah,
when I preached that, and then they saw that, I was like, then I started saying, hey man, everybody ain't like that.
yeah,
Every now and
Not
then,
this
you
one.
go run into one
Not
or two
this
good
one.
ones, you know.
yeah. Cause
But
I
keep your
was
eyes open.
yeah,
But
cause I
every now
used
and then
to
you're gonna run into a good one.
yeah, cause
Right.
So
back in the day I thought he was
I
a scoring black man. He was the first scoring black man I knew.
you what?
The first scoring black man I knew,
Exactly, because
and I didn't know
I
why.
seen a lot. I seen a lot. And so I preached that, hey, you sure? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
man, I'm finna go on and do this. You sure? You
Right.
know, but but yeah, when you find,
They are somebody gonna touch your heart and actually
yeah,
see
they gotta
see
be
you
your
in your
friend.
tough
And like even in
experience.
your situation, you had the signs not to get in that,
Yeah.
not to go as deep, but you just chose to try to go with
Yeah.
tradition,
Yep.
and you got what tradition handed you. You get
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the key thing about it, and the reason you're able to bounce back is like him, like the
Mhm.
Austin.
Yeah.
You guys realize where you messed up at. It's
Yeah.
not that every man is a dog and men
No.
ain't shit, and
Mm-mm.
every woman is a slut and all they want to do is
No.
use you. You guys realize your role
That's
in
right.
why I went bad.
That's right.
And
And most of the
that's
time, like
why
you
you
said,
guys are
we
able to
like the
bounce back
author
and
said,
still look
picking the
happy today.
pieces, picking the pieces that fit with the holes that you have in yourself, and trying to fill those spaces, right? And once you find somebody that fills spaces that you might not even know need to be filled in a way that is healthy, then that's probably your person. But you're trying to fill them in other ways, right? And like I say, a lot of times we don't even know what those spaces are, but they're missing pieces from growing up and all that, um and we're always looking, you know to feel good, to comfort ourselves. So, if I don't feel valued, I'm looking for somebody to validate me all the time, right?
Right.
And so when you find, the problem with that is people who are, hurt in that way, or have those missing pieces, and you're searching for that thing, manipulators get a hold of you.
Yep.
People who are controlling, or people that, or and they have their own missing pieces, right? And all that. But then you become a victim of them, right? Because, oh, I see what I can do to this one to make me feel good, to get my holes filled, you know, and stuff like that. And those things, they just don't work. They just don't work. I talked to my ex today, and we talked about how we both are broken people trying to make a thing work. And like he says, we ran out of time, right? We ran out of time because we was doing too many other things. Or like I said, I got married because I thought that's what I should do. I already had one baby, and I'm like, I'm not having another baby out of wedlock, but I do want another baby. And I'm all this.
Right.
And again, the wedding. I want to get married, and I want to wear my white dress, and I want to invite the people, and and I ain't have 20 G's, and like they tell you, you want champagne on a beer budget,
Right.
wanted the works, and I had to downsize that thing seriously, right? And still felt like it was more than it really should have been, because I was more interested in getting married than being
Being married.
married.
You
Yeah,
know,
because I
a
was going
lot
to
of
talk
people.
about that too. A lot of women today, and that was actually supposed to have been a topic about 2 weeks ago, but it was like the women of today, they want the dress, the
Mm-hmm.
wedding, and the event, but they
Right.
struggle in the marriage.
Struggle in the marriage, right? That's like I said. That's the wedding is just a party. It's a celebration of the union.
And it's for
That's
everybody
it.
else.
And it's for right, exactly. It's for everybody else. That's a couple of
Everybody else
weeks
has
ago.
to.
My daughter married her boyfriend. They went on to the courthouse or whatever they did. You know what I'm saying? And they at first they were like that too. Oh, I want the wedding, then I want the thing. And then they started realizing how many people really are for us. How many people really
Right.
care? How many
Yeah,
people
because I really don't
got
have
our
a
back,
lot of friends, and she don't either.
you know?
And so we was like, why spend all of this,
Right. To entertain
on
other
that?
people.
So we had a nice little thing on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
but and then so many things went wrong that went wrong with the wedding. And I always tell her it's because she wanted this wedding to be so perfect because
Perfect.
she believed in the fairy tale
Yeah.
thing.
A fairy tale.
And
Mm-mm.
and Chanel, when I tell you we on the beach in Biloxi actually,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 hours before the wedding, a spiral thing, water spiral
What
thing
about? Oh shoot.
came off of the beach and went straight to the gazebo and all that they were setting up, the wedding, the chairs and everything that the decorators were doing, and it landed straight on top of the gazebo and wiped everything out. I
Wow.
posted a picture of how bad it was raining that day. The wedding didn't start till like 4 or 5 hours after it was supposed to start because of the storm.
That
We
was
ended up, it
that was
didn't
a
ended up
lesson
being
from
a
the
beach.
creator
We ended
part.
up paying the a hotel to let us get married on the balcony. They
Yeah.
didn't charge us a lot. They just charged us for the drinks and different stuff like
Right.
that. But we ended up, they was feeling sorry for us, and
Uh-huh.
and they let us do it there. But it was a total disaster. It was raining out.
Mm-hmm.
She mad. She crying. I said that's because you wanted so much on this wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Forget
then
what
we didn't
forget
even get
all
to
that.
have the
What's
reception.
important? The important thing is that our union.
Our
Right.
union.
That's
Somebody
what it is.
stole the cake. I
Right.
didn't even get a chance to see the cake.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the workers at the hotel took the cake.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, anything that could go wrong. Murphy's Law was in
Murphy's law
effect.
was in effect.
Anything that could go wrong at
But
that
she
thing
needed
went
to learn
wrong.
that.
But our
She needed
union
to
was
learn
there.
that. That was a lesson for her. That
Yeah.
was a lesson for her that this ain't gonna be perfect. You
And
know.
and that's why I posted on social media when the anniversary came.
Uh-huh.
I put on Facebook, I showed that day that it was storm. You couldn't even see your hand in
Uh-huh.
front of your face.
Right.
And then it was raining that morning when I woke up.
Right.
And I was like, when it rains at a wedding, that don't mean that it's your union is cursed.
Sure, it doesn't.
That means that you guys are built to last because if you
Because
tie the
you
knot,
gotta weather the storm.
put water on a knot and see
Mhm.
how hard it is to take
Come
that
on.
knot apart
Oh,
compared to a dry knot.
that was good. That was good.
Yeah. So I was like, that means that union is meant
It's
to
tight.
be together.
I love that.
But yeah, so I just hate that today uh the people see things totally different. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is not even a goal.
Right.
Uh Submission, hey, you ain't telling me what to do, and that's not what submission is about.
Right.
It's about compromising with the one that's better to make the decision.
Right.
Like when she told me don't get the vehicle,
Mhm.
she decided that. I
Right.
just agreed with it.
Right.
I went, okay, you're right. because she trusts me to
And
make
again,
the
that her
decision.
trusting you and you trusting that she's not gonna tell you nothing that's not for the betterment of all of you. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Because I got caught up. Every blue moon, I admit, every blue moon, I get caught up on what I feel we should do
Right.
instead of what I think I know we should do.
Right.
And she'll yank my chain. Usually she let me go with whatever. But
Right.
when I was talking about buying this vehicle, man, and she was looking at all the things that we trying to get, where we trying to
Right.
go, what all we
The
trying
bigger
to
picture.
accomplish, she was like, that's just a waste. For what? When we got one that's paid for,
There
and
you
you
go.
finna go and create a
Another one.
six to $800 note
Right. Yeah.
plus $200-300 insurance.
Insurance.
That's $1,000 going out the house. And I was
Yep.
like, wow, I ain't look at it like that,
Like
but I
that.
was gonna be riding nice,
Yeah. Right. Right.
but it wasn't it wasn't about that. So I put it on hold for now.
Right.
But don't be
And when the
surprised
time
by my
comes, you will
birthday,
probably
a
have
couple of
your
months,
you might have
I
your
pop up with what I want. But
exactly.
I take the back seat every now and then. You know
But
what
it's
I'm
about
saying?
using like utilizing the strength of each person in that relationship, right? They're
Yeah.
like I'm a better financier, right? And so I needed to do the finances because he wasn't good at that part,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But I needed him to be able to trust me to do that, you know. And so in his mind during that time, it was, I don't want to pour all my money into this because of my childhood stuff and all that. But I'm like, I'm not taking your money and getting my nails done. I'm taking care of these kids, paying light bill, make sure the phone's on, stuff like that, right? That's not
As
my,
long as that's what you was doing, and
you know,
you came from a kind of, you got caught up in the old school thing.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Where you gonna work with your man or your mate
absolutely,
to
yeah,
make sure you straight.
right.
But the new
New
generation,
generation, yeah, a
he
lot.
do him, she do her,
Mm-hmm,
and we just come together, we hang out, we have fun, we get high, we
mm-hmm,
have sex.
mm-hmm,
But she gonna spend her money with her friends going to Cancun. He
mm-hmm,
gonna hang out with his friends, playing video games, getting high,
mm-hmm.
and it's no unity. And
Right.
that's why they don't get married. They just
Yeah,
stay together.
right.
She catch him cheating every now and then.
Right.
He catch her cheating every now and then. But
They
we
don't see
love
the
each other,
value
so we got 3
in that.
kids together.
Right.
So it's just
And they don't
the
see value
cancel
in
generation is hell, and I'm so glad I didn't come up in it. But like Brizzle will say, we about to land this plane. And last words, Austin, to the independent women that's afraid to submit because they say they have nothing to submit to. What advice do you give that woman that wants marriage, but she able to take care of herself? So she's wondering what's the purpose.
Well, maintain your independence and find your person. That's it. Maintain your independence, find your person.
So
Because
maintaining her independence when it comes to submission, what that means?
that means that she's able to, supply herself with whatever she needs. But when she finds her person, they're going to work together and
Okay.
make decisions together. And she's going to allow him to excel in his strengths, and he's going to let her excel in her strengths.
Mhm.
You see why I say conversation rock the nation? That little fucker be cleaning shit up real quick, don't
That was good, though,
he? He
Austin.
stay on his toes. He stay on his toes, man.
Toes down,
And what do you say, Chanel, to these women out here that feel like I don't need no man? I want a man, but I'm still gonna do me. We can live together, we can get married, we can do the wedding and all that, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna do what I want to do.
Then you'll never have a partnership because
Partnership.
that's not what you're really looking for. You need to figure out what you really want. Which one do you want? Do you want a marriage and a partnership, or do you want to just do you forever? Because doing you and not cultivating a partnership with somebody where you are willing to negotiate and compromise and do a little sacrificing, because that's a part of relationships and all that, then if that's how you want to live your life, then that's how you're going to live your life. That's up to you. But if that's what you want, then some things about you have to change, right? And you might not be ready to change that, and that's fine. Be who you are. But I agree with the Austin in that when you do meet the person that is your person, they will know what to do with you. Because again, I'm very independent too. you know. But when I met a person who provided me a space to just be a woman, I'm comfortable there, right? I feel good about it. I trust this person, right? And stuff like that. But and I didn't even realize for myself that that's what it was. I was like, I don't even know why I like him like that, But in his presence, and like y'all talked about earlier, like the chivalry and all that stuff, I'm very. I don't need you to open my door, but it's really nice when you do.
So
Right?
you like your femininity. You like
I
embracing your
love my
femininity.
feminine. I hate
Okay.
having to
Even though you
feel.
come across to us like a,
Yeah, but like in
but you
the
can be
appropriate
soft as a
spaces,
kitten.
I am very, very girly, and I enjoy being taken care of. I just need to trust that you're gonna take care of me. You know
Okay.
what I'm
Now
saying?
more
You
women
have a
thought like
history of
that.
trusting.
That's what our women
Yeah,
missing.
they
I
missing to
feel
be able to
they feel
trust
like
somebody.
they tough. They have to provide, and they stuck in that mode. They don't
Yeah.
understand that
Mm-hmm.
that boss up when you have to,
When you
but
have to. Yeah.
yeah, it's okay to
Exactly.
be.
Like open my door, absolutely. But I'm not gonna sit out there like the girl you was talking about
Yeah,
and not open my door and wait for him to come over here and open it.
he
I
did that.
can open my door. It's sweet if he does. And I will allow
Right.
him to do so. I'm not gonna be so stubborn that I'm not gonna allow him to take care of me. I'm not gonna allow him to open my door or treat me well or whatever the case may be.
Hey, it was last year was our anniversary, and I thought about him, and so I took her to get a one of those massages where they do the stones and Swedish massage, all that stuff. And so I'm treating her that day. So I pulls in front of the place and I'm trying to get out the car to open the door. She'd already got out the car. And I was like, well, and it was kind of raining that day. And I was like, well, I came to come open your door. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't know what you was going to do. And I was like, and then so I was talking and acting like him.
Yeah,
But
you just
but
gotta
yeah,
tell her.
mine
You
don't.
the woman,
He was
and
like,
I had to be told too because I'm used to doing it myself.
yeah,
And my guy had to be like, "Don't move," and I'm like, "Oh, okay," you know.
yeah. Because I
And
jumped out
now
the
I
car.
can
She
expect
didn't
this
know what I was
woman.
doing. She thought I
Okay,
was going to walk in there with her. I'm like, no, I'm going to come open your door.
I'm coming to take care of you, girl. But like, you just gotta let a woman know that you can and will take care of her, and you're not gonna be shady about it. Like, and be consistent. I ain't saying, like you said, if you can't open the door, she should be opening it herself.
Right.
And all that. If it's a situation, yeah, you shouldn't be that stubborn and all that. But if you want to be, taken care of like a lady, a man has to show a woman that he can and he will, right? And a
Yeah.
woman has to open herself up to be taken care of.
Don't reject it.
Don't reject it. Don't reject it. Chivalry is fucking great.
I know, right?
Well, good to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
And then my closing is the newer generation feels like submission is slavery, but submission is simply, like I say, what it means when a woman submits to a man. When a woman submits to a man, it means to be willing to allow him to lead when there is a disagreement, provided that his leadership is reasonable and just.
I love that.
And that's the definition of it. It's not that you're becoming a slave. You have to find somebody who you can trust, like Chanel and Austin said, your person that you can trust to make you feel safe in their decision making. And like Chanel said, the one she was with, her ex, he wasn't that great in the decision making or the money, the financial department. And so she had to step up every blue moon and help that. So within that, you can still have a leader, per se, but you just have certain areas you're stronger in than that person. He could be the leader of the house as far as keeping everything together in the house.
Yeah.
You handle the finances, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So, it's just that when you come together, somebody has to be the one to have the to make the better decision. You have to find somebody to help you make that final decision. Right. And like I say, with mine, she won with the vehicle.
Right.
And then, like I said, when she get $2,000, $5,000 falls in her pocket from a client, she'll come to me and say, okay, I got this 5,000. What should we do with it? Instead of her going down, weave and loaning all her friends money, she'll come to me and say, what do we need to do? So I'm like, okay, well, you can close out Fashion Nova, and we finna pay this credit card off. I'm finna pay this electric to zero balance. I'm finna pay this car note to zero balance. I'm finna pay this mortgage to zero, you know.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna pay the mortgage for 3 months.
You can still do a Fashion Nova because they are very reasonable in pricing.
When we get through with that, you can do your little Fashion Nova, and you can go to your little Nike sweatsuits and all that. But let me take care of these bills.
That's right.
But yeah. So yeah, submission does not mean slavery, and everybody is not a leader. So you have to find that leader, and you know, and a lot of men are tends to be controlling when they feel like they have leadership. So you just got to make sure you're not falling into that category as well. Yeah. But other than that, like he said, we about to land this ship. I appreciate everybody for coming on. I mean, they had us going early. The Tony guy, Shajerica. Yeah. I mean, we was rolling. Shout out to Mr. Melvin TV. He came on and blessed us. The Austin. Chanel is always a pleasure. Of course. And with that, we're out. And it's happening, so we might as well speak on it. And until next week, same time, same place, we out. Peace. Appreciate it.